Are you ready?
The Christmas countdown's on at JCPenney. Through Saturday, use your coupon and dash away with very merry savings on last-minute gifts across the store, like fine jewelry stocking stuffers up to 70% off after coupon, and save up to 50% on comfy, stylish outerwear for the whole fam. Add curbside pickup to make your trip extra quick. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 12/24. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details. Whether it's Kroger Simple Truth Turkey or mac and cheese with Murray's English Cheddar or pie made with fresh Cosmic Crisp apples, there are many dishes we look forward to sharing during the holidays. And Kroger has all the fresh ingredients you need to turn today's holidays into tomorrow's memories. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Welcome to the 5th annual Social Suplex FOH Draft, the annual Christmas edition here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here, of course, with the young boy, Josh Smith, Rich Latta, and James Boyd. Guys, Merry Christmas, Merry FOH.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Survivor Series was the annual Thanksgiving tradition. This is the Christmas season tradition for Social Suplex.
Yes.
Fuck out of here, draft.
Get drunk and shoot on the business.
It would just be a matter of time before, like, in, let's say, 25 years before, like, it gets more and more relevant, and we'll be like, why are we even doing this? very similar to that Thanksgiving tradition.
Well, wrestling's getting better and better to the point where we're like, do we have anything to shoot on? Like, what the fuck are we going to complain about this year?
Or the fact that we shot on so much stuff in the past, it's like, it's pretty much a lot of the same.
It's just the same shit. Like,
Vince McMahon, you still suck.
Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about it. Let's just draft Vince, and then it's over.
Get the fuck out of here.
like you look at it at this point now, it's like you draft Vince, you draft Dick Togo, you draft Start Rossi for like all these fucking draws, and you'd be like, thanks for listening to the show. We're out of here. We're done.
Sinclair Media Group, you can get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, Bully Ray / Marty Scurll. Yeah, you put all the bookers. It's all the bookers' fault. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Nick Khan Nick Khan, throw him on there too. We get out of here. We just bury individuals.
We're telling Vince to get the fuck out of here, but he's gonna pass one day. We're gonna be like, we're so sorry for the family of Vince McMahon.
We're gonna do a morning episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one of those was real like, hey man, like, look, did a bunch of bullshit, but he did inherit the top territory. He did make a bunch of top stars. He did a lot of great stuff.
Thank you for Razor Ramon and The Undertaker.
The end was very lackluster.
Al Davidson.
Yeah, but like we can't ignore the fact that like he had advantages, and like a smart person, he was able to further those advantages. And you say what you want to about his booking philosophy and stuff, but when he was in his bag, he would come out with something, it wouldn't work, he would rejigger, and it would be successful. A lot of that was the 90s. After that, he held on for dear life, but hey, that's the job. You on top, you stayed on top. Whatever.
Yeah,
R.I.P. While he's still alive.
So Jeremy, I think you should kick us off with the rules and what
why don't we
we're
just start
drinking
this off by like envisioning Vince is dead? That's where we are now.
very dark turn.
This is where we
Jesus
got.
Christ.
It's already dark in these streets.
Jesus Christ.
Well, if guys, if you're listening to this, that means that you've paid or made a donation to listen to this episode. We put it behind the paywall. If you're not, you're a freeloader, and you need to give us gifts.
Yes.
Gifts. Donations.
Do I need to send the seedling cease and desist shit or?
Yes.
Like we better not hear y'all bootlegging this, reproducing, copying this. None of that.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, we have been working for years and years and years to put out top content. We don't charge for anything, and this is the first time we're asking you guys to donate. So like literally throw us $4, $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever you want to throw us. But like, it's Christmas time. We're trying to get paid in these streets. Like, hook us up, you know?
This is a business.
Yeah, we got look, I'm not going to say anybody's names out here, but there are those amongst us that are wearing fake shirts.
Why you got to roast me?
I did not say game, Josh. You decided to do that. That's on you.
Guys, listen.
That's on you.
I've always
Look, help
wanted,
Josh not wear no more fake shirts, please.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I love this shirt.
Tell him what you're wearing.
I'm wearing the CM Punk Best in the World shirt from 2010, but they don't make it
But
anymore.
you're not wearing that shirt because that's a fake shirt. That's what I keep trying to explain to you. You're wearing a fake shirt. That is not authentic.
It's make believe.
It's authentic
Yes.
as fuck because I'm wearing it. It's on my chest. I see it right
It's
now.
authentic in your heart.
Yeah, it's real.
Okay.
What are we
I guess
doing?
that's all that matters, right?
What are we
Why,
drinking?
why,
We got to go to the drinks.
Why
What
can't
are we
we
drinking? What are the rules?
So let's see. I'll start. I'm drinking Angry Orchard. I got the fall edition. So I got strawberry. I got peach mango and the cinnamon, along with the regular Angry Orchard.
So how many of those did you have to drink to get to the level you're at now?
This is my third one.
That's all it took?
Jeremy's
Yes.
lightweight.
I mean, look, Jeremy is lightweight. We're also a lot bigger than him. So there's also that to take into account
I
when it
didn't
comes
mean
to
that. I just mean he doesn't drink that much. Like, it doesn't
I mean,
take much.
okay. Well, I mean, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. I feel like I'm a lightweight because I'm just the size of the Titanic. That's really what it comes down to. So I can just handle more than most people.
I am drinking vodka infused with rosemary, mixed berry, and lemon, and I'm making my own cocktail out of that and club soda. It's pretty good.
I am drinking Grey Goose straight.
Yeah, boy.
What's
Yeah,
the
boy.
mixer? The ice.
The ice. Exactly.
Now-
Straight to it. No filter.
Now, if you have followed One Nation Radio, you have seen the journey and progression of Rich Latta through the years to becoming a more adult, more understanding, more well-versed person. This is a clear backtrack. I don't recall you ever drinking nothing straight before, but except for Hennessy.
Hey,
And then, except for Hennessy, I understand Hennessy's worse than Grey Goose, but I want to know I want to know what went into your thought process. I want to drink clear, straight. What happened? How did I feel like I failed in some way. What happened? What is going on
That
here?
Jericho
Shouts
influence.
out to the great Chris Jericho, who has put this drink like in the atmosphere. Has wrote about it in his books for
Yeah,
years.
boy.
It's called the Yeah Boy, and it's vodka and ice, and Grey Goose in particular. So
Look,
I think
man.
this is the first year you haven't drinking Hennessy on the show, right?
I think
No.
so.
I
Yeah,
had
the
White
White
Claws
Claw.
one time, and I thought they were a game, but they were not.
You got caught like them rum runners,
Yes,
huh?
yes.
Okay.
That was 2019. I think you had the White Claw.
Thought it was a game.
Yeah.
Never again.
It was not. I was out here
It is not.
hugging the porcelain god.
like you when y'all might not remember this. Me and Rich had a fucking field day with this like offline or off of the air, but like there's a Joshi wrestler named Yu that used to be in Tokyo Joshi Pro. Now she's a top freelancer, and there was some English speaking person that was trying to buy her gear. This is like 2020 or whatever else, and was trying to buy her gear, and then like eventually like it led to like, do you have any like do you have any game worn stuff, if you will? Do you have any? And she was like, I can not really. And then it turned into all of a sudden like next thing you know, more questions going along, and it's like, do you have any used draws? And then and then like because of the Japanese English translation, obviously she's done a lot of UK stuff. Like she's a big part of Pro Wrestling Eve before the pandemic, and like her response was, "It is not. It is not." so like yeah, just yeah, man. Like
What are you drinking, James?
I am drinking, the usual, which is Grey Goose in either vodka or Grey Goose and vodka. My God, Grey Goose and cranberry juice or orange juice. I'm with the cranberry right now. Before I tried something new, I had bought a slushie. I had filled the thing up, drank a little bit of it off the top, and then I bought a second cup. Or I didn't buy a second cup. I took a second cup. I don't know if they'll arrest me for that, but imagine getting arrested for a 15-cent cup. Wouldn't it be a bitch?
Like, sir, you need to come on over here with us.
All this over a second cup. So anyway, other cup poured in the vodka, the Grey Goose, and then filled the rest up with a slushie. That thing, obviously, liquor doesn't mix or doesn't freeze. That slushie quickly became liquid.
Thought it was a game.
But I will say this. The outside of the cup froze and chilled So it was nice. It was nice. So right now I have after going through what size is that? 40 something 52
Jeez.
52 OZ of the slushy in vodka Grey Goose. I am now working with the last of what I had of my Grey Goose with cranberry juice. So that's what we're doing.
Hey,
We got more where that came from.
What's that? Anybody need a little bit of extra goose? I got about half a bottle left here in the bottle. So
Yeah.
Jeremy, you want to take us through the rules and get us started?
Yeah, so if you are new to the FOH Draft episode, how it's worked, we're going to do 2 rounds of a draft format where we will drafting things in the year that we want to shoot on and bury. So we're going to start. James is going to have the first draft pick this year.
What's the order?
There are 18 different topics. We're going to do 2 rounds. That means we're going to draft 8 primary targets, and then we're going to do a rapid fire round where we shoot on those other 10 fucking shits.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to go start with you, James, and go around, and then we'll snake back the other way.
But before we start, we did a Secret Santa. I had James. He is my gift recipient, and I've brought my fucking gift for James, so I think it's appropriate for us to start.
All right, so this is the Secret Santa group in the Largo Loop, not the Social Suplex group. So for those that hear this from Social Suplex, don't feel like you've been left out or we are some 4 pillars thing or whatever. Even though we do have this is no, it's not secret. They already know. Yeah. Even though we do have
4 pillars
amongst the 4 of us, because we're all like living close proximity to each other and all know each other.
If we're the 4 pillars from AEW, which one's which?
I don't know. From AEW?
Not from All Japan, from AEW.
I don't know. I don't think I necessarily relate to any of those 4 that kind of way.
I'm fucking Jungle Boy.
You mean James ain't painting them like Darby? No, can't see it.
Nah, I'm not putting my body on the line for that.
Definitely
that
less hair than Jungle Boy.
Yes, a lot less.
I'm Britt Baker.
Fuck it. In that case, I'll be Britt Baker. Then y'all can go from there. Then fine. Fuck it.
I'll take Darby.
I'll be a white woman. That's fine. That's fine.
That means Rich is MJF.
Sure, why not?
Or Sammy.
Or Sammy. Either one.
I think he relates more to MJF because like Rich would relish like being a dick to people. He really would.
Man.
But James, I wrote you a little card on the thing there.
All right, let's see.
No, on the yeah.
On the gimmick, on the bag, a tag.
It says, for my dog James from your boy Joshua. Okay, so give y'all context on this. I was at Josh and his girlfriend Megan's apartment last weekend, and we were watching the first 2 episodes of the new reboot of Sex and the City. So I think it's called In Just Like That. So Josh was basically like trying to reach out to his the Largo Loop folks, basically trying to get the fuck out of there because he did not want to watch the chick flick stuff, right? And look, that's fine. But then like I made it known to him that like I watched that kind of shit. And he was like, well, please come through. So I don't have to leave my own dwelling and I can like get the jokes off or whatever else, or I can have some, I have an idea what the fuck's going on. So
Megan found out that you liked it and she's like, invite him. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
Not that I wouldn't want you there, but like Megan was the one, she was like, oh, James likes it? Fuck yeah. He's coming through.
So we're watching the first 2 episodes of the reboot, and like the whole time is like, because I know Josh is not really all into that shit, so like I have to make it at least entertaining for him. And like Megan is Megan is also inclined to like it too, as opposed to like I like this thing. And like James is making a joke of it while I appreciate him also liking it too. He's making fun of it to my boyfriend who doesn't really care about it. So like I'm not really appreciating this. She was all with it, so like it was a blast. So
we're drinking Cosmos and I got fucked up.
Yeah, so she hands me I'm not much of a drinker. Like the Cosmos, like the first time I drank last week, like I can't remember last time I drank like 2 weekends back to back. I can't remember. Woo. It's been years. So anyway, so we're having a blast, and I'm like laughing about how like the goofy stuff that like because it's a reboot and like it's a reboot of a show from the 90s and in the early 2000s. So like it has all the problematic stuff, and you're reviewing it through the lens of like now, and like. It's just funny, and then they end up killing. I almost said something, but it's like now we find out he is not in fact my dog. Like fuck him. But
They killed my dog Big.
Yeah, at the time, like they killed off Mr. Big, and I'm like, oh, they brought him back just to murk the dude. And then not only did they murk him, he had a heart attack, and he stayed alive until Carrie bitch ass didn't even bother to save this man. She didn't know how to pump his chest for CPR. And then we find out like a week later, or 5 days later, like, oh, that ain't your dog, James. That man is a serial,
He's a sex pest.
Yeah, sex pest. I'm like, all right, well,
no.
Damn.
maybe they were right to murk this man off rip.
Alleged.
Yeah. So, anyway,
What's that got to do with the president?
So when they murked off him, at the point, I was like, as he had having a heart attack, I was like, oh, they murked my dog Big. So like, Josh on the note, it says from my dog James because he's a fucking idiot. So,
no, bro, you're just my dog. That's all.
So it all ties together. So I don't know which one you want me to. Is there
either one?
Either one.
I got you 2 gifts.
He got me 2 gifts on Secret Santa. All right. So. Last week he wanted me to open them, and I was like, nah, man, we need to save this for the show, so I'm opening one now. So I have a DVD of...
A Blu-ray.
Sorry, a Blu-ray. Yes, that's right, the Blu-ray case, my bad. So, yes, it is All-Star Dream. So this is like the LLPW, or Zinjo... JPW and FMW show. Like, this is...
It's the greatest woman show in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, so this is what, 92, right?
93.
93, I'm off a year. Yeah, so, like...
Oh, shit. There's a ghost in this shit.
What is
There are ghosts.
So yeah, like, I appreciate it, man, because, like, there's a bunch of great matches on this card. So this is...
8 hours, dog.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of stuff on here. So, next one, let's open this up. Also, I'm assuming that you are the one that wrapped these, right?
I wrapped them.
I can tell because, like, women don't wrap gifts like this. And I know that women don't wrap gifts like this because, like, I learned from women how to wrap. So, like, I would not look at all this, like, the efficiency of the wrap. It is like ridiculous. Like, so these fit in DVD cases. This is like in a Blu-ray case. There is literally, I'm looking at like 3 feet of wrap, and it's like, nah, ain't no way no woman did this.
I'm just showing you how much I care about you, bro.
Oh yes, the big egg. Oh shit. So this is the '94 Dome show that has Rich knows this. The fantastic, incredible. Aja Kong, Manami Toyota match on here. This is also like a part of that show that had that tournament for the top title. So yeah, man, you did really good with this one. Yeah. You did really good with this one. Really good.
Knocked it out the park.
Really good. This man has 2 of the greatest. He gave me Blu-rays for 2 of the greatest shows in the history of professional wrestling from the '90s, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And they got
Josh.
the fucking
awesome.
art and everything.
Yes.
And the good thing with it is if they ever pull this shit offline.
Which they were bound to because
got it.
They go down, they come right back up. Like I follow a bunch of these different let's say Joshi or Puro channels that have old stuff, and they come up and they go down all the time. So at least I got the hard copy, definitely.
In case Peacock buys it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Can you imagine if
on the list, Peacock,
Sire, Apple, fucking sold the rights to AJW. Oh my god, it'd be awful.
If you guys are looking for this IVP video, that's where I got these.
Yes,
great value. Check it out.
Yes.
With no further ado, go ahead.
One more thing. For those that know me and know the kind of stuff I delve into as far as the illegal activities, as far as being able to watch All Japan Women's Wrestling, shout out to All Japan Classics, because every week there's a new, or just about this every week there's like, oh, you want to watch 95 All Japan? It's there. We'll pull up those shows. So yeah, shout out to them and their illegal activity.
Well, let's go ahead and kick the first round of the draft off. So, James, we're going to start with you. You're going to have the first draft pick in this year's FOH Draft.
Okay, so...
and FOH stands for fuck out of here. We haven't said it already.
No, I said it.
Okay, so, man.
We're 18 minutes deep. Let's fucking get it.
All right, so... I guess... there's really no other place... y'all know where I would go with this.
I know where you're going.
I know where you're going.
WWE firing 80-ish wrestlers this
different
year.
one.
That's not where I thought you were going.
No, that's what it has to be. That's
what it has to be. That's what it has to be. We'll get to it later once we get to it, whichever one you thought I was going to take. But WWE firing 80-ish wrestlers this year over budget cuts during record profits. Yeah, man. We all understand WWE is a business. We all understand that business and corporations are going to corporate, right? They are heartless. Like, there is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. There's no such thing as ethical billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company. Like, you could throw in what you want to say about the Saudi Arabia shows, whatever else, but, like, flat out, WWE and Vince McMahon and Triple H, they spent years upon years, literally, like, I don't want to say poaching, that's not necessarily the right word, but they were pulling people out of these indie scenes that they thought were burgeoning, and also went into international territories that they thought were making some noise because they wanted to destabilize these markets. And by signing all these people, then bring them into Orlando or bring them into NXT UK, they were taking talent off the board. Therefore, draws and things that can happen outside WWE were less likely to happen. And they ended up, obviously with AEW coming on and with basically all of Japan basically saying, fuck you, they weren't able to do what they were trying to do. So, and that's probably for the betterment of professional wrestling going forward. But as they fail and that happens, that means that eventually they have to let people go, or they don't, or they let people, they don't have to, but they eventually decided, like, we don't want to do this anymore. And they fired lots and lots of people after years of not firing anybody for years and years, like a 3-4 year span where they just like rarely fire anybody unless it was like some situation where like they were begging and pleading for their releases, and they finally like reached a part where they're like, we'll finally let them go.
Legal shit,
yeah,
like
stuff
that.
like that. Stuff where like someone absolutely had to go, but outside of that, for years they just were not, and they were just stockpiling talent and just leaving them on the shelf and not doing anything, and leaving them in catering or whatever else, or leaving them in leaving them at home. So for them to get to the point where like they're off the road, there are no house shows being expended, and at the point in time, like there was a weird period where like they were damn near not making any money off house shows, and then there's no house shows, and like they then go and just start like firing people like in waves for a full year, like waves, time after time, and it's like it kept being like people that were on the main roster, and then was people in NXT, there's people that weren't doing anything, and it was really frustrating to see that shit, and I was just like, hey man, like what changed here? What exactly changed? Just the fact that like y'all can't do house shows anymore? Like y'all still made as much money as y'all were before. In fact, you can argue because they were going so far in the tube with doing house shows that they probably shouldn't have been doing anyway.
And the Thunderdome,
they were making more money. Right, they're making more money. And, like, you're making more money and you're firing people in the middle of the pandemic where, like, that these people, like, as you fire them, whatever, like, name recognition or hotness that they have to, like, get themselves hired somewhere else is on the shelf for a quarter of the year. It's just like, yo, this fucking sucks. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't, there's no way to spin this around other than, like, this is just corporate greed, and y'all were trying to take over the world. The world told you to fuck off, and now, like, you're, I don't know, like, tucking your tail almost in a way. And it's like, what about all these people that, like, all these people that are more than just, like, numbers on or just names and numbers on a
spreadsheet.
Yes, a spreadsheet. Thank you. I wouldn't have got that one. Like, what about these people in their lives and the fact that they packed up and moved and, bought houses, dropped down payments and came over here to make this thing work, to be good employees for y'all. I'm sorry.
Independent contractors, pal.
Quote unquote independent contractors for y'all. Like, this really sucks, and it's like that can't be good for morale because all these people know each other. All these people that are on the road, like, they're clearly going to relate more to the talent that's being fired and laid off than to y'all that are like, or you were like Nick Khan and just like, I'll look at a spreadsheet and say this person's making way more money than they quote unquote deserved based off of what they're doing on TV. Get them the fuck out of here. We don't care about if our storylines make sense after this. We'll make it make sense afterwards, which they don't. But that's how they feel, and it's like, yo, this is not good for your TV product. This is not good for your or the people, your on-screen talent. It's just a mess. And like it kept happening like in months after month, like every single month in waves. And it's like at one point, you know, like for me, y'all know this, like NXT was my last like thing with WWE that like I had a connection to. Yeah. And the last thing I loved that WWE did that you know has any connection to wrestling. And like when they cut like Fish and Bronson Reed and Mercedes Martinez, like that shit just like I was done with the product. And then like, you know, obviously they've done 2 different series finales of NXT. Like they had like since then, like, you know, the last 2 takeovers have been the series finales, but like it was just like, yo, I will watch those, but like the TV, no, fuck that. Y'all going a different direction. Like y'all don't want to watch. Y'all literally had like some of the best wrestling in the world and some of the best wrestling of this era, and y'all like walked away from it because y'all want to do this shit that like maybe it will work, but like it won't work with the booker you have on top. Like if you want to go to all, you know, big green dudes, whatever else, like I'm sure all of them eventually have some pride in their work and will, you know, if they want to, they will get good at this. I don't count out any of that talent that's, you know, was around and was signed and that didn't start off like being, you know, big wrestling goofs like us, or wrestling fans like us and marks. But like, I don't know how they're going to get there when like the only people that's going to be leading them around are like people that like have no clue what pro wrestling in 2021, what people want. Right. So, yeah, for me, like, they can get the fuck out of here. Like, so y'all can have y'all pieces or whatever.
I thought it was just every time we would get one of those quarterly conference calls, that day it would start happening. It would be like, so the people that y'all was just talking to, like, they're not, like, plugged into this shit. Like, it's just really confusing every time they're like, yo, we're up. We're making all this money. And then, oh, yeah, we got to start firing more people. Friend of mine got fired. As y'all know, like I'm, you know, real tight with Swerve, and of course, like Hit Row had just debuted. They got over within like 5 months of being on NXT, and also they were on the main roster for like 3 weeks, maybe.
It's 3 weeks, so just about.
I think Swerve did like 1 match, and it was just like I saw, like, you know, I talked to Swerve for hours and hours, pretty much about like, you know, the thoughts that he put into, you know, trying to make it like that, and I'm like, damn, like they first they get rid of B-Fab, yeah. And then it's like, you know, they get rid of Swerve, Top Dollar, and Ashanti, and I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, and I'm just like confused by it, and it was over. And a lot of the people that got fired were over. They have talent, and it's just a sad situation because I know there are some people in those groups that really wanted to be in WWE. And I think that, I don't know, man. It's
I feel like here's the deal. We've been here before. This is not the first time we've ever drafted WWE firing a bunch of people in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
We did it last year.
Yeah, we was drafted last year.
This is the second year we've been here. And also, it feels like every time they do this, the WWE diehard stands are playing mental gymnastics to try and defend this fucking money-hungry, greedy like you said, James, corporate, greedy, fucking bullshit company that just sees people as an expenditure on a fucking spreadsheet as opposed to an actual human being, you know? And I mean, we could get into all the ins and outs of like who they did or didn't use, but the bottom line is this company doesn't know how to build stars anymore. They don't know how to use talent.
There was no real pattern to like what they were doing either. It was like, yeah, you know, Bray Wyatt, he can go. Braun Strowman, he can go.
Right. 2 people that have like, will be like gigantic success stories for like the existence of this NXT PC program. And like, you would figure just politically like you would keep them around.
Well, it just proves what Rich has been saying for years now. NXT was a scam.
Thank you.
NXT was a fucking scam.
And you look at, like, they always say, oh, we have a plan when people get called up. Triple H say, oh, we have a plan for when people get called up. Oh, wait and let it play out. Are we losing to Charlotte? Let's let it play out. It'll all make sense at the end. And it never...
She got pinned by Zelina Vega this week.
Yeah.
In 50 seconds.
After being distracted like a fucking moron,
Yeah, it never pays off in the end. It never makes sense. There is no plan. Like we mentioned, you saw Hit Row being called up. They're gone. Bronson Reed's getting tryouts on the main roster. He's gone. Like
Cross, he getting called up wearing the NXT belt.
Dude, yes, carrying Cross. All the different gimmick changes in a matter of weeks.
Put him in a mask like he's the fucking demolition guy.
They hoarded everybody when it was to their liking because they thought that it would hurt their competitors in business. Then when they realized that they failed at being able to stop AEW from becoming a major
and they got their ass
competitor,
whooped.
and they got their ass whooped, they're like, you know what? We don't need to be paying, the Good Brothers these $500,000.
No. That figure is way wrong. It was way more than that.
Okay.
They were making.
That's
They
right,
were making
$750.
They were making $750. Shawn Michaels 19 prime Shawn Michaels money. Don't you ever fucking forget that Shawn Michaels, when he was a fucking WWE champion, was making $750,000 a year, and that Gallows and Anderson make that money. I will always remember that shit.
That's fine.
Okay.
We don't need to pay all these people all this money. So all these top guys that aren't really making us money, fuck y'all. And all these guys that were at the bottom that we said, just grab for the brass ring. We're gonna make you one day.
We're gonna do something with
We're gonna
you.
do something with you. Oh wait, AEW's like entirely overbloated, and now there's no indies for you to work, and now there's like no market. Fuck you. Go home. They suck, bro. And they've literally fired most of the industry that they're hoarding for like 5 years. Fuck them.
Yeah, even Vince is like, yeah, maybe pal, we'll give them some more talent if they want to sign them more.
Like, bro,
Yeah, he said that.
We'll give them more.
That's true. He did say that. Yeah.
I think it's funny though the people that he picked though, like Tony Khan's not picking everyone. Like
You mean
only picking
like
the best
Braun
guys.
Strowman's not there.
You know who he's
Yeah.
picking, right?
The best ones.
He's picking the same guys that Triple H picked.
Right,
And then you look back at it in retrospect, and it's like, yo, like I understand, like the
Bray
show,
Wyatt's not there.
right? Like you understand, like what you come to this point, and you're like, Meltzer mentioned this at one point in passing, almost like that, like as Triple H lost power. That a part of it, and then moving on to 2.0 was like a part of it was like a lot of people feel this way was that like Vince has secretly like sabotaged Triple H to kind of prove to himself that he is still the guy, and like you look at like there's people that Triple H pushed at NXT at the top of the card while they're becoming a third traveling brand while like working literally out of doing one date of like 4-hour TV in Full Sail, and then like going and then doing another, and then like from there going to a 15,000 seat arena and having people have some of the best crowd reactions in the history of WWE. And like you see that, and then you're just like Vince. Like he's picking the biggest guy. He's picking the big guy with the best physique, regardless of whether or not they can get over. So then, Vince gets these guys that Triple H asked when he asked Triple H for his best guys, and he sends Johnny Gargano, and he sends Tommaso Ciampa, and he sends Ricochet, and he sends Aleister Black, and then like they come over there and like they have nice crowd reactions in the matches they have or whatever else in the time being, and then like Aleister Black comes over there and like there's nothing for Aleister Black, and they fire Aleister Black, and then he shows up on AEW and like he gets his ass over at like a level to where he could be potentially champion in the next year or so in 4 weeks in one match is like, and then you see Andrade and and it's like, you tell me who has a better idea on what gets over in 2021, right? Given that like there are two top bookers. There's Tony Khan, there's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon knows how to knows what the stuff he gets over is stuff that like he was able to get over 20 years ago, as far as something that's a newer idea or whatever else, something that's different from like the status quo of what Vince's canon of pro wrestling is. Like he hasn't been able to succeed in that way. But you look at Tony Khan and like he can get over someone that looks like Darby Allin, someone that looks like Sammy Guevara, someone that looks like Jungle Boy, someone that looks like MJF, and you see Aleister Black gets there and he immediately comes in and he immediately like makes himself known and like, nah, this is one of the best in the world. Like, don't let Vince McMahon fool you into believing that the shit you saw in NXT did not happen. Like, and it's just like, and then to go from there is like, well, given like what Triple H has been through in his career and what got him to where he is like so much of that is Shawn, and like, so of course he can't have some big stigma about fucking height and size. And then you see who he got over NXT, and then you see them end up in AEW, and it's like, yeah, this is still Vince fucking this up.
It always has been.
It always has been.
Well, on that note, WWE
firing 80 wrestlers. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you, Vince.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so Rich, you're up now.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Rich.
All right. So
second pick in the first round of the FOH draft.
Okay, this might.
Oh my God! Yes, he added Wrestle Kingdom Night 3.
This might be.
I'm looking at the list. I'm like, what the fuck?
This might be a reach right here, but I'm just gonna get to it now.
It's a reach, but it's the first one you're picking.
Yeah, it's a reach. Like meaning it should go later.
This is something that's been burning his soul of late. So I'm assuming I know what this is.
It doesn't have anything to do with Kenny Omega.
Adrenaline.
It does not.
I'm assuming
something Cody Rhodes.
Rich, go ahead.
With the second pick in the first round of the FOH draft, I've been, a little, conserved so far. Codyism.
We know you. We knew
Bring your ass to the stage.
Sorry, Floyd.
Sorry, Floyd. Sorry, Tiffany. Cody.
Sorry, Brandy.
Cody.
Sorry, the dog.
Sorry, Pharaoh the dog. Who else do we need? Arn. Sorry, Arn. Dustin.
Sorry, Dustin.
Dusty.
Yeah, Dustin too.
Sure, he's a great person, great family man. Do I have to do to Stephen A. Smith? I'm sure he's a phenomenal human being.
You know who else does that? You know who else does that? Brian Alvarez does that too for you, Barry's motherfucker too. I'm sure he's a great person, but we finna
grill that ass right now.
Yeah.
Cody,
Right.
bring it to the stage. So, all year.
He looked over like he's over there or some shit.
All year, Cody has been just in his own fucking world. All year, Cody has contributed nothing on pay-per-view. All year, Cody has been in these weird feuds, from the whole thing dealing with Shaq. All right, fine. Works pretty
Is that
decent.
Is that his second best match of the year?
That might be his best thing of the year.
That might be his second. That might be his biggest success of the year. Yeah, absolutely.
Then
And when he got squashed by Alistair.
he goes.
Okay. Yeah. The top two.
But he's not really involved like in the narrative of AEW. He keeps going away over and over. Mm-hmm. Then he tries to cure racism in a promo.
Oh God.
From there, his crowd reactions, I think, dipped off and were never the same.
Yeah.
I'm there in the building at Double or Nothing when Double or Nothing was the hottest crowd in America this year. Just everyone going nuts. Like, I remember the second match of the night was the Bucks against Mox and Kingston. Like, no one sat down the last 10 minutes of the match. Mm-hmm. Shit was crazy. Cody Rhodes comes out there and kills the crowd with Anthony Ogogo. Mm-hmm. He's dressed like a fucking slave master. People keep telling me this Homelander shit. I've never seen that shit. He looks like a slave master. Get over it. They're doing all this shit where, he starts getting involved with Malachi Black. Of course, he goes over Ogogo, whatever. The Malachi Black thing, he gets squashed in what I call a kind of a performative fashion. Like, it's not like a...
It was an incredible fashion.
Yeah, like...
Yes.
Ass beat.
It's one of the best moments of the year. And quite frankly, that might be easily his best match of the year. And it lets you know, like, why it's so frustrating watching this guy. Because he can go out there and get fucking squashed and killed, and he's fucking incredible while doing it. And then, like, what's the rest of this shit?
Then, even that... It's a ripoff of the shit he did a year ago with Brody Lee.
Yup.
So he's got one idea here.
Yup.
He tries to fake retire out here, right?
Yeah.
No,
about it, Rich.
you're not gonna fake retire. Then, of course, that's like he starts getting those boos and they're chirping. We saw the reality show around that time, and then he brings his ass to New York City, Queens.
Oh my God!
The home of Nasir Jones, Mobb Deep, Nicki Minaj,
LL Cool J,
LL Cool J,
50 Cent.
Run DMC. He comes to Queens, New York.
They're from Hollis, yes.
Whatever. But he brings his ass out there in front of 20,000 people, and then all of a sudden he gets misspit at him. He gets booed out the building because
rolled up too.
It rolled up and makes Malachi Black look less effective.
Yep,
pretty much. Then it starts spreading around the country, and I have to start hearing. Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God. That Omarion variant.
Yes. Then
the Omarion.
We see this dude start getting all these bad reactions, and then it's like everyone starts the excuses. They start coming out and saying, "Oh, this is what we're looking for. Oh, Cody's working at a 4D level. He's so ahead." No, this man wants to get cheered, but he's getting rejected. It's bullshit. It's not what the company was built on. The character where it's like a John Cena, Roman Reigns type, like, we don't need that. Personally, I think.
And also, why would you want it?
Right. Like, it's like this whole thing where he's getting booed and cheered, mostly booed, is sad when you compare it to 2019 when he was actually over, right?
Yep.
And the more he has gone against the grain, I feel like it's gotten worse for him. The feuds have gotten more confusing when we're putting other people in the ring with him. We don't know how to react. Crowds are confused. Matches are dying on pay-per-view. And all we have is this guy that I think has lowered his value, and it stems from taking himself out of the main event scene.
Yep.
And it's like you can't even... I don't know what his true value is to the company at this point. And every day I think, I'm like, man, what if Cody wasn't in AEW? Because when he's missing,
you don't miss him.
You don't miss him. Like, you get shows like All Out. You get lots of the Dynamites that were fire.
You get shows without blade jobs and table spots and managers flying all over the place and flaming tables.
Right. And it's like, bro, like when I watch like Dynamite and I see Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson on the show, right? And then they're trying to tell me Cody Rhodes is a top guy where these fucking guys inhabit. Get the fuck out of here. I've always seen it coming with Cody from 2018. Like, this is a thing that it's like he's not good enough as a wrestler to overcome whatever. He's trying to work his way through this thing, but we called it all in real time. We said he's blowing through way too many fucking angles. He's doing way too much blood, and everyone's going to get sick of it. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the rest of the Elite, smartly turned themselves heel ahead of time to get in front of any potential backlash, and were able to out-wrestle any type of shit like that.
And they were also they also decided we're going to get people over.
We're going to go low and slow.
To a certain extent, and then eventually it will be our time. Cody never got to a part where it was his time.
And they separated themselves from Cody also.
That part too.
It's real funny. I want the book.
Elitism, Codyism.
You tell me.
You know, we talk about Baba Inoki. Literally, they're diverse inside the same promotion.
Let me just say, this is not something I would normally say on a regular podcast, but it is FOH, and I am 5 drinks deep. I can co-sign everything James just said because I know people in the company, and I'm telling you that there's a fucking rift between elitism and then Codyism, and that's by design.
There are 2 AEWs.
there is heat, and that's a real fucking thing.
Like, and I feel like we got a glimpse of when Cody had like those 4 or 5 main events. The end of this year, we got a glimpse into seeing what AEW looks like with Cody Rhodes near the main event. And I said it on One Nation Radio: if AEW is built around Cody Rhodes, it will die.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Floor is y'all's.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all got something on this, because I do.
Bro, Cody's fucking sorry. He fucking sucks. Like, he sucks. It's all smoke and mirrors. And here's the thing. Sometimes he's great, but most of the time when he's great, he's stealing shit that his dad did in the 80s or some other better worker than him did in the 80s or some other fucking shit. And he's running out of ideas. And, like, this man can't stay hot enough to, like, stay in the company. He's got to go away and reinvent himself. And, like, he's literally trying to do the same grift that the Young Bucks did with BTE, but do it on TNT with his own like reality show and like work reality into a shoot. And like he's trying to be Pillman and like 97. He's not sure if he's like working the boys or if he's working the fans or if
working
he's working himself. Like it started working to a shoot. Hulk Hogan brother. Like, bro, Cody fucking sucks. And sometimes he's awesome, but most of the time he fucking sucks. And this company doesn't need it.
This is going to.
The name of the promotion is All Elite Wrestling.
This is going to make Second Josh so happy. It really is.
AEW, from day one, the foundation has been built on guys like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, Sammy Guevara, guys that can go out there and wrestle and have great matches. Cody can't do that.
Oh my God!
Even we've seen Cody. We've been in the building live for Cody versus Kenny Omega, one of the greatest professional wrestlers on God's green earth, and they couldn't have a classic matchup. There's a problem here, and it's not Kenny Omega, it's not the Young Bucks, it's Cody Rhodes. And you look at the history of what he's done. Yeah, you know, some people that they want to throw out the Dustin match. Oh, that was 5-star. That was great. So emotional. I need my older brother. All that crap. What has he done since that?
It's real dry.
He jobbed to Brody Lee, and then he jobbed to Malachi Black, and he jumped off the cage.
He jobbed to MJF. He jobbed to Jericho. He did a lot of jobs on like in big matches.
Not real jobs.
He's so fucking giving.
He's a WWE wrestler trying to make it in AEW. He's living off moments. I'm going to throw myself off a cage. I'm going to put myself through a flaming table.
He is a moment wrestler.
I'm going to create these moments. When you look at the substance of his matches, there's nothing there.
Like, there's always something else going on.
Of smoke and mirrors.
Okay, so for me, the part that is so frustrating about Cody is I believe that he is now at a point in the way that he wrestles where he is actually a very good wrestler that is so stuck in his head and is so stuck in the nonsense that he used to do and the crutches that he used to rely on to get a match over because he wasn't as good, that he is now like still reverting to that, and now for me it's even more frustrating. Like we talked about that Malachi Black squash that he did. You watch that match, you watch the storytelling in that match, and you watch like Cody, this territory wannabe ass motherfucker, and you watch him literally like because he's so desperate because Malachi's all over him, he throws forearms instead of punches. You know, right? Like this is a Randy Orton. This is a dude that is from the Randy Orton camp. Like that, just perfect punches, right? Straight could have been in Memphis, right? He's throwing forearms to survive, and then that man gets squashed in that way, and you're just like, this dude, like for a short period of time, maybe not long, whatever else. This dude is an incredible storyteller when he has his game, when he's not caught up in the gimmicks and bullshit. And the part that's so frustrating is he still feels like he's this insecure. When I watch him, I'm like, he's this insecure person that still thinks he has to rely on this stuff, and he's not still good enough. And that's the part that's so frustrating watching all this is like, yo, you don't have to do that. You look what you just did in like 5 minutes with Malachi Black. You look at what you just did in the first or in the second match with Malachi Black until the bullshit started happening in that match. It's like, just fucking wrestle. It's okay to just be wrestling for now. Like, you are a great fucking promo. You're one of the best promos in the fucking industry. You have proven that. Talk from your heart. Get the bullshit out.
We have to be careful when we say that. Talk from your heart with him. Because he might try to end racism, James.
You are right. I will say this, though. While I feel like just flat out, fundamentally, the stuff that he said is fucking ridiculous. And you can pull up the audio. When I went literally line through line for that promo, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? At least I feel like he believes it. I'm not going to go into it right now. I did my piece on that at the time. You can go through the archives and pull it up when I fucking eviscerated that promo at the time when we're talking about a go-go. So, but for me, like, we have, for some reason, like, diverted so far from what he was at the end of 2019, where like he was like the hottest babyface in the industry.
He was.
And like, I understand, like, wanting to be giving, but in wanting to, and maybe he even thinks that, like, if I give so much, then like people will respect me so much because like it's almost like a weird version of the martyr booking, but he's not losing over and over and over again, or at least in all the time, as opposed to big matches against top guys, which he fucking does all the time. But it's just frustrating to see how this has came, and it's like this is a person like he's a person I find to be like, for the most part, in a wrestling ring or in a wrestling promotion, I find to like enjoy the stuff that he does, and I enjoy like the kind of enthusiasm he brings to wanting to do wrestling in a way that like pays respect, not necessarily a full cover to stuff his dad did or whatever, but also like be in the spirit of it, and I appreciate that stuff. But at the same time, you also got to find your own path, and this path that he is going down is like, it's been too much of, in a complete like opposite of what the promotion is and the stuff that is hot in the promotion. Like you can't tell me that like CM Punk and Danielson, I almost called him Bryanson, like
Byron.
Like, you can't tell me, like, they came here after they already know this dude, and then they watch this promotion and watched it, and then they see what everybody else is doing and what he's doing, and then, like, they come and do what they do, and they're like, and then they see what he's doing, and they're like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, Danielson came in and said, hey, I just feel like being the best fucking wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't been able to really do that in, like, a decade. So I'm just going to come out here and be the best wrestler in the world.
I just want to kick people's heads in.
Everything you're saying
fucking awesome.
Would require genius. It would require originality. It would require, the things he just...
I don't see many people lining up to come work with Cody.
I think on that note, we should just say...
I can't really speak out of it. So, yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is 2021.
Cody,
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, so now on to the third pick in the first round. Young boy, what you got for us?
I'd hate to be so on brand, but I think I gotta be on brand here. And for the third pick of the first round of the Fuck Outta Here draft, I am picking the IWGP belt lineage.
Speak on that, brother.
Okay, January 5th, 2020, Tetsuya Naito beats Kazuchika Okada in the Tokyo Dome in front of one of the last full, like, free, like, allowed to cheer crowds up until today's current date, and who knows in the future when that's going to happen again in Japan. Because since then we've been, COVID, clap crowds, everything, and
just pray you don't go to Osaka for a big show.
And when that happened, he won both the IWGP title as well as the IWGP Intercontinental title. And then a year later and some change, they decided, it would be a great idea if we decided that this white belt that has all this important prestige and lineage, and this black belt that has all this important prestige and lineage going back to 1983 or 88, depending on what you ascribe to, they can get the fuck out of here. We're going to combine this shit. We're going to make Kota Ibushi the first ever IWGP quote-unquote world title, because we've never had a real world title in the history of New Japan before. So at that point, they were saying, Hulk Hogan, Antonio Inoki, Tatsumi Fujinami, Big Van Vader, Hashimov, Ricky Choshu, fucking Great Muta, Shinya Hashimoto, Keiji Muto, Takada, Sasaki, Chono, Norton, Tenryu, Sasaki, like Fujita, Yasuda, Nakata, Takayama, Tenzan, Nakamura, Bob Sapp, the fucking draw, Kojima, and Brock Lesnar, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Nagata, and Nakanishi, and Togi Makabe, and Okada, AJ Styles, Tetsuya Naito, Kenny Omega, Jay White, Evil, the motherfucker, Kota Ibushi. All these motherfuckers can get screwed. The only title that matters is this world title. Everything that happened before, that shit doesn't matter anymore. Bro, do you know how fucked up this company has been ever since they abandoned what was literally, probably along with the WWE championship title, the most prestigious lineage in history in the history of wrestling?
Yeah.
Literally from 2012 to 2020, the title that was the preeminent title that was
I felt like that shit was on another fucking level.
It was on a pedestal. It was on this level with all these matches with Naito and Okada and Tanahashi and Omega.
It's not just the great title matches and the great talent. It was also this lineage, this history was being fought for the next person to claim it in front of some of the best wrestling crowds I've ever heard in my life. So
my God.
You can continue, Josh. I just want to point that out part.
No. It's absolutely true. And the thing is, sure, have there been other titles that mattered, like the Triple Crown title, and the NWA title, and the WCW title? Yeah, that's all there. But most of those titles had to go either went down or by the wayside because companies closed or they had to consolidate business. It was never that the company decided, fuck this lineage.
Yeah.
Fuck everything we built for the last 50 years. Let's just fucking screw it and decide to just
new belt.
Not to mention the white belt that Nakamura built off the back of his sweat and brow before he turned in his Hall of Fame career and went to WWE. It's just it's the most unimaginable thing, and I haven't spent a lot of time in a while because at this point I've come to a point of acceptance where it's all right, they've come to the point where they decided to merge these things, they made it a world title. I just need to learn to live with it. But now I'm rehashing the trauma.
You know why? Because Okada brought back the version 4 title. They're probably going to retcon this shit at Wrestle Kingdom.
They're going to retcon this shit in a few days.
It is one thing where it's y'all make a crazy decision. Another one when your ace is this was fucking stupid. Why do we ever do this?
Now, is the company fine? Sure, maybe. I don't know. Is it...
I don't know.
We'll see.
Have they had some great titles for this new...
I don't know.
For this new world title,
They have.
They have, but Okada, I don't know. It's Okada's never been a world champion before. That shit can get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. I could have swore I saw that guy live in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Also, there's another part to this that I don't know if you're going to get to it yet.
Take it.
Ibushi?
Yes, Ibushi comes into this, and then I think how people reacted to Ibushi with it. Here's a message. Wrestling isn't fucking real. Kota Ibushi did not make the decision to do this.
Right.
You fucking imbeciles.
Yeah. Ibushi, this really hurt Ibushi's year. Obviously, he's had a horrible year given what's happened with him health-wise. But as far as kayfabe was, the part where they made him the mascot to say we want to change all this the best lineage in just general the world's major professional wrestling, that did not help him at all. And it was
Nope.
Why are y'all doing this to him? Y'all don't understand this is hurt. This is not helping him in any way, shape, or form. Why would you sign him to a lifetime contract and then put this upon him?
Okay, I agree with you guys. I want to keep it brief. I got two last points to make. Number one, if you did want to do this, you wanted to merge the white and the black belt and move on, that's fine. But why the fuck did you need to decide that this new world title that you have does not share lineage with the title that you built since 1983.
Right.
Makes no sense whatsoever. Second point, if you're going to introduce a new world title with a new belt, maybe you should work with the designer to make sure that shit is much better than the actual design of the belt that everyone has decided to love since 2012 or 2011 or whenever they decided to introduce that shit. Bro, this shit has literally hurt and damaged the brand and the popularity of New Japan, not just in the West, but worldwide. And there's Google search images or Google Trends to like prove this. There's, New Japan World subscriptions to prove this. There's just general overall malaise over this product. And this isn't the only thing, but sure doesn't help when people don't care about the fucking prize that's the top title in the company. Fuck it, you guys can take it.
Yeah, when you have the ace, Kazuchika Okada saying, I really don't care to win that world heavyweight title. I don't. He's like, I haven't watched any of the champions matches. Like, I get it. Yes, his promos,
and you're not lying.
Right?
He said this shit.
Right.
It's also part of Okada, like in his gimmick.
I get it. And it's part of his character. He's kind of a douchebag. He's arrogant. But at the same time, look at the booking. Would you ever in history want your top guy to bury the new prize that you're trying to get over? You would think you would want everybody clawing after that thing.
Like, I just couldn't imagine if like we fast forward to like 4 years from now, and then like Utami is like, yeah, like they made a black belt. Like, I don't really give a fuck about it, but like I won the Grand Prix, but I'll come after and go get it anyway because like that is now the top title. Like, I feel like it was better when like it was the red fucking belt, and like it was also the history of like it was also like the spiritual successor from like the bridge from the last All Japan Women's Champion, like Nanae Takahashi, to the first Red Belt Champion, Nanae Takahashi, and then we carry it through. But whatever, it's black now, so I'll go after it. So like it's like, yo, like you mean to tell me like you had this history of the goat that traces from Okada or Jay White or whatever else to like they can go to Muda or whatever else, and you were like, nah, we don't want that. Even though everybody wanted it. Nobody said get rid of this.
Who made this decision? What was the research?
Makes no damn sense.
And like, granted, it's just a belt, it's a prop, whatever. Obviously the marks care more about that than the actual wrestlers or whatever else. Fine. But the thing is this. If the marks care about it, and the marks are the ones that are putting their hands to their pocket to pull out their debit card or their money for this thing, hey, take the marks' fucking money. What are you doing? I thought that was pro wrestling. Take the marks' money.
Yeah, because when it's time, like, if you treat the shit like it's important, when it's time to pull the con, like, you'll always have that importance that you treated it with.
You can always, just like we talked about, like there have been plenty of times where obviously like the person or the people are bigger than belts at a given time, and they main event over the belt or whatever else. But if you put that much stock into it in the way that New Japan had over decades, like you can get that con over. Like, why do you think people still to this day get so upset over Jinder Mahal being the 50th WWE champion?
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason for that. Like, they grew up watching this thing, and this was the top prize. This was Stone Cold Steve Austin's belt. This is Bret Hart's fucking belt. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then this is Hulk Hogan's fucking belt. And to go from that to, like...
the Maharaja.
And people were furious about it because, like, this was something that you built equity in. Like, once you build equity in something that people
that belt
believe
ain't never
in,
been the same.
Don't get rid of it. Don't throw it away. Don't discard it. Like, that's poor storytelling. Like, at the end of the day, a lot of these wrestlers these days, a lot of the bookers these days consider themselves to be artists and consider themselves to be telling stories and consider themselves to be some type of live actors, or stage actors, whatever you want to call it, whatever else. Don't do things to make their jobs harder. Don't do things to make the people that you're telling you're going to deploy, don't make their jobs harder. This all sucked. Like in to be quite frankly, like, is this the number one problem with New Japan? No, Togoism is. But this is like all while this era is happening, this also happens like I'm sure this all falls in line with what's going on over there. So yeah, like for me, like it was really upsetting. It was really upsetting.
When you say people are upset about Jinder Mahal, I think you mean me.
I mean,
I think everybody
is stable upset about that.
Yeah.
A lot more people are listening. If you're listening to this show and you weren't upset about the Jinder Mahal thing, then like I don't know what you the fuck.
You have been drafted.
Yeah.
So the IWGP belt lineage, you can get the fuck
out of here.
I mean, that's what New Japan said, but Jeremy, it's on you.
Like Gato and them, you get the fuck out of here.
All right, so in the last pick of the first round, we're gonna keep it New Japan centric. Gonna stay on brand. I've been waiting for this. So my draft pick, I am selecting Togoism.
Yes, sir.
Dick Togo.
Come to the
Bring
stage.
your ass to the stage. Bro. We ended, or the beginning of COVID, before COVID happened, New Japan was on a hot streak. We're doing double domes. We're doing big business, selling out Osaka Joe Hall. We had hot angles. We had John Moxley facing Suzuki, getting ready to face Zack Sabre Jr. We had all the hotness going on in New Japan. Then
Naito and Kenta?
Yeah, Naito and Kenta. It wasn't the great match, but they sold the building out.
Sold the building.
It was a hot feud. They sold the building. It was a hot feud, but hey, it wasn't a great match, but it was a hot feud.
He did a blade job before AEW was doing blade jobs.
Dude, New Japan, we were cooking, man. Then the pandemic hits, and they get the brilliant idea that we need to put the belt on Evil. We need to beat Tetsuya Naito after we just finally gave him his moment at the Dome with Evil Watanabe. But then the reports start coming out, and we figure out who's the guy that's gaining influence, who's the guy that's been the little gnat in Gato's ear. Dick Togo. He wasn't just a manager. He has now gained influence in the booking room in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we are seeing his fingerprints all up and down the card, and it is ruining one of the best in-ring promotions going today in the world, because for whatever reason, Gato feels like he must have lost a bet to Dick Togo, and they're homeboys, and he feels like he owes them something, so he's getting all this influence and getting all these ideas, and we continue to see this push of Evil. Sure, he hasn't been in the main event lately, but we're seeing this whole Togoism play out.
They haven't recovered from that.
Yeah.
It's like it's a constant threat. Like he can always come back at any moment.
Why? Because he's been champion before.
And we're seeing it now. We just had 2 tournament finals with Togoism written all over it.
Yep.
The freaking House of Torture, Evil and Yujiro. First of all, out of all the freaking teams in that tournament, why the hell would you put Evil and Yujiro? Shit, you could have put Kojima and Tenzan in the finals. I would have rather them against Tomoyo Yoshihashi versus freaking Evil and Yujiro.
Bro, you could have put like fucking Togi Makabe and like...
And Honma. Dude, you could have put Tiger Mask and Nagata in the finals, bro. It would have been better. But no, they had to go with Evil. Yes. They had to go with Evil and Yujiro. And you get the whole interference, Dick Togo's interference, running in, the whole interference. Then he had Ishii saving the day, and it's like, all right, you mucked up one tournament final with Togoism. Then you go to the Best of Super Junior Finals, which is supposed to be one of the best tournaments, one of the best highlights of junior wrestling across the world, and you already have a bum like Yo in the damn final against Hiromu. We knew from day one. We already know you ain't putting no damn Yo in the main event for the junior title and Wrestle Kingdom.
At the Dome.
Oh my God.
You already have this match. We know what's going to happen. You have Sho come out, hit both opponents, trying to cause a double disqualification, no contest, so that there will be no winner of the tournament, which makes absolutely no sense. Why the hell would you want to do this? Togoism. You took a hot... You took a hot...
What's the reason? Togoism.
You took a hot baby face and show he was going to be the next breakout star in the junior division. He was having bangers with Shingo, bangers with Hiromu, bangers with Eagles, Ishimori. This man was on the rise. What do? You turn him.
Not no more.
You turn him heel. He's doing these goofy ass faces. He's choking people. He's doing low blows. He's doing all this cheating. For what? Where is this going to get show? Now he's no longer a top prospect. He had one of his worst tournaments in years. It's horrible. He ruined the finals. He's ruining his career. Dick Togo's ruining New Japan. People want to throw him flowers because of Wrestle Kingdom Night 3. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh my God.
This man.
Are we even drafting so many bad like this topics?
Like as the more and more news stories come out and the more Dick Togo's influences are over stuff, you can see his handprint. You can see exactly what he's doing. The more the cheating, the heat, and not only is he's trying to get heat, the fans can't even cheer or boo. So you're having heat and they're just kind of lightly clapping because we don't really want to cheer for this, but
and for the viewers, and this has been going on for over a year, and for the viewers watching, as people are doing this stuff. Because of these media reactions, we don't really know that much of how to feel when it comes to our emotions for that. Because normally, when we see somebody be a fuck nigga, we see the crowd boo them or just be in uproar, and we don't get that. And New Japan, in my opinion, always had the best crowds, even when AEW was around, because it was pure. We're not hearing motherfuckers chant, "This is awesome" or "Fight forever." It's motherfuckers being hot as fuck. Or at the top of it, or being fucking furious.
Yeah.
That's
Bob
why,
Backlund in '81.
So that's the reason why that's the reason why I love their crowds, and to get no crowd reaction from, in my opinion, some of the best classic or reminds me of classic crowds reactions, and we don't get any of that, and then they do these things, and you're just we don't feel that from the crowd. So does it even exist? Am I even want to watch it even happen? You know what I'm saying? And you gotta just you gotta kind of take it at all right, well, it was well done, but I don't know how it's gonna work. And then you see these returns at these shows, and then there's another part of Togoism that goes on, doesn't help it, is they have to do more shows now to recoup off the fact that they can't fill these arenas, and it's you get these watered down cards, and then you're looking in the ears what company, what promotion in pro wrestling in 2021 had the best in-ring product? It's still New Japan by a wide margin, but then you're well, what did you feel? And what did people talking about? And it's not New Japan. And it's
that's true.
Because for every Ospreay versus Shingo, you had Dick Togo choking somebody out for Goro wire. Yes. For every Shingo versus Tanahashi, you had Dick Togo pulling a referee out before the 3 count. For every big match you had, for every Ishii match you had this year,
Dick Togo dressing in a fucking Bushi mask.
Yes, for every Hiromu match you had this year, you had Dick Togo doing some bullshit, and that's all people want to talk about.
And it's not just him; it's Yujiro.
It's Show.
It's all of them.
They give him a fucking unit to make money.
It's a collection of motherfuckers that suck. And I don't mean suck because they can't wrestle. It sucks because they are trying to make the matches worse.
They're trying to do less wrestling.
That man was lobbying to make Evil a champion again this summer. Luckily Shingo fought back, and luckily Gato listened to Shingo and went for his original booking and kept the belt on Shingo. Can you imagine that shit? Evil going into the dome again with the freaking title.
Gato, look me in the eye.
He's not here.
Look me in the eye, Gato.
He don't even speak this language.
Listening. Stop listening to Dick Togo.
Just because you worked with this dude in the ECW arena in 1997 doesn't mean you have to take his advice anymore. What the fuck? Dude, in 2018, we had Hangman Page, Nick and fucking whatever, Matt Jackson and, Kenny Omega and Cody and all those motherfuckers. We had the Elite. This year we've got Evil,
Show, Yujiro, Dick Togo.
Dick Togo is not the same.
Hey, they were so tired of the Elite.
Yeah, the Elite.
They were just ruining New
so
Japan.
toxic.
Just selling out buildings.
There's also this part, right? The Togoism has to have affected their relationship with all these guys too.
Oh, it absolutely has.
Yeah.
Listen, You know, there was recently like a Reddit post about how like Voices Wrestling are giving all this fake like information. Where do you think they're getting this information? They're talking
The English speakers in the Japan
English
Pro
speakers
Wrestling
in
locker
Japan,
rooms.
and guess who they're fucking pissed at? Dick fucking Togo. Where do you think that's coming from, dude? Like, listen. At the end of the day, we cover this product and we love New Japan and we love the in-ring style. We love the product, but like, I'm so fucking sick and tired of ref bumps. I'm so sick and tired
Garrote wires,
of garrote wires,
ref pulls,
ref pulls, and
interference, pulling the damn turnbuckle pad
the
off,
exposed turnbuckle, and all this shit.
throwing somebody into the timekeeper.
And you know, recently we were on the podcast, and Jeremy, you were kind of retorting me, playing devil's advocate as we will with one another, and I was like, you know, this fucking sucks. And you're like, it's just World Tag League. And I was like, yeah, it's just World Tag League. And it's just a Super Juniors. And it's just a G1. It's just another G1. It's just another.
It is the whole entire fucking year.
And it's just an IWGP title. And it's just a double gold dash. And it's just another double gold dash. And it's just the whole fucking company at this point.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, like, fuck Dick Togo. Fuck his interference and, like, all his, like, influence. It's... You know, it's Memphis in 1981, and that had its time and its place. But that shit's done. Fuck that shit. We want Kenny Omega versus Okada. We want
more Shingo Ospreay, Shingo Tanahashi, Ishii and Shingo and Sabre. That's what we want.
I liked this company when it was a continuation of King's Road as opposed to a continuation of, like, Jerry Lawler and... You know, Jerry Jarrett in 1980.
Are they going to do an empty arena match next?
Yeah, they might as well. They've already done a lot of those.
They're kind of doing that already.
Look, they gonna do it. They gonna fuck around and not draw and be doing that shit.
They kind of have
and that's the part that's so like shocking to me is like this has always been a live attendance promotion. Like this is
trying
not
to get heat, brother.
This is not WWE. Like where like they have their TV deal and they've already got that so they can rest on their laurels or whatever else, and like you know hopefully they cannot fuck it up so bad that like they can still stay in the same places they were so they can get more money later on as the money escalates or whatever else. Like they have always been a live gate attendance company, and to see how they have been so like I think honestly like maybe Dominion 2000 what was it Jericho
19.
Okada 19 like maybe that was the first
that was the turning point.
That was the turning point where you look or the tipping point where you're like yo like we didn't like in like one of the two biggest shows of the year with this gigantic like great you know moment. It was like oh this is a set. This get heat for somebody else set up something. And like, granted, we got the Tanahashi thing, and like that was a great match, Tanahashi and Jericho, whatever else. But it's like that's a little different. Where like like you get a New Japan crowd at the end of the night, like they're not like ecstatic or happy or you know tearful of tears of joy. Like they're upset. And then like you get into Togo comes in, and then like I will never forget like this buff motherfucker. In this LIJ baseball jersey, like looking nothing resembling Bushi except for a Bushi mask, and then like Naito's still there looking like a fucking moron, like he doesn't realize it. Like, oh, I guess Bushi must have gained 30 pounds since last time I fucking saw him 15 fucking minutes ago, and like you look at that, and they made him the champion, and they made Evil the champion, and they started this whole run, and it's like, yo, like this. It didn't kill the promotion, but it fucking wounded it very badly, and they have not healed. And they have not healed.
It has been shot in the leg.
Dude, here's the thing.
We're limping right now.
Is we talk about New Japan being sports centric and all that, and it definitely is. But like, is it like 1980s, 1970s world sport? No. Is it like 1990s, you know, UWFI and no. rings and all that? No. Has this company always had a place for factions and for interference and all that? There's a time and a place, yes.
Especially with the Bullet Club history. Especially with that.
But never in a G1 finals, never in an IWGP major title match.
Super Junior
never
finals.
In a Super
World
Junior
Tag League finals.
And they're fucking up shit that we really care about and that people have been attracted to and that has literally caused this company to have record banner years.
And growth.
Over year. And now shit's kind of fucking screwed, you know?
So, perfect example of that, right? Before Togo gets there. What was Ibushi's first G1? Was that 2018 or 19?
Yeah,
19.
He beat
19.
Jay White in 2019,
19.
and it was my,
All right.
my match
I
of the year.
remember being 19. Because 18, he was in a final with Tanahashi. He lost.
Right.
19, he gets there with just Jay White. All the Bullet Clubs out there on the front, and they're like, yeah, you know, it's just a matter of time before we go out and cheat. What did Red Shoes do? All 20 of you motherfuckers, get the fuck out of here. I know you finna cheat. This is bullshit. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not putting up with that bullshit. I'm not finna deal with that. All y'all motherfuckers go to the back, get the fuck out of here. And what did Jay White and Ibushi do? Went out there and had one of the best matches of all time, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm glad someone else said it aside from me.
now, keep in mind, like to be honest with you, that's the only Ibushi Jay White match that like I truly love, like because like the stakes of it, like you look at the one they had that losers that
the losers match.
That consolation match,
that one sucked.
Like, that one sucked because it didn't have the stakes of it of like, oh my god, what's going to happen here, right?
And people capped like it was good, and it fucking sucks.
Right. So like, and you look at the one they had at the end of the second night of Wrestle Kingdom this year, where it was just like, you know, Ibushi's going to win, but like you clearly don't want him to spoil this shit, and that's why the crowd was into it, even with the clap crowd. So like, it's clearly the stakes involved when it comes to Jay White. But anyway, you get to now, and it's like, he can stay there. same Red Shoes we've seen for half a decade. Nah,
All of a sudden, he can't figure it out.
Road wire, ref bump. The pad comes down.
He's trying his best,
time and time. And it's like, yo, like, the purpose of Heat is to build towards payoffs. And they have lost sight of that. And, like, it is a very thin line, and given how many shows they do, is a very thin line before you end up going over the edge, and they've gone over the edge, and they need to reel that back. And, like, just like I always talk about every single month, right, when we do – like the preview, however long we go, whether we go for 5 minutes, whether we go for 45 minutes, when we have Tanya on for WWE. It only takes one or two things to pull your head out of your ass and fix this for WWE. Vince McMahon. Same thing applies for. It's even easier for Gedo New Japan. Remember who the fuck you were.
Yeah.
Remember who the fuck you were. Like.
Just
understand. These matchups aren't as fresh as they were, but you fix some of this stuff up. You get some of this heat out of here. You listen to your top guys like Hiromu when he says, "Get this shit out of here." But instead, like the answer is no, because you don't listen to fucking Dick Togo, as opposed to the most over fucking junior since Jushin Thunder Liger. This is how you end up in this situation.
Unbelievable.
And the one last point I'll make is, you look at New Japan Strong. Look at the American product. You don't see any of that. We don't see any low blows. You don't see any ref pulling. You don't see any of that crap. You see great professional wrestling every Saturday night on New Japan World, and it's awesome.
And it's on the Cerulean Blue.
Yes, Shinhyeon ProRes.
ProRes.
So on that note, Dick Togo, you can get the fuck out of here forever. Forever. All right, so round one is done. We're going to snake back the other way. So that means I have the first pick.
Oh, shit. I didn't know we were doing it that way.
Yeah, so we did last year. We did snake.
I forget every year, though.
So for my...
You can't choose Codyism. It's done.
I know. We
buried him.
We have successfully cooked Cody. So the first pick in the second round.
NXT?
Yes, that's exactly. I'm going with NXT 2.0.
Bring that ass here, partner.
Why didn't you save it for James?
I'm glad he got to that because there's other stuff to get to. That doesn't mean the game has came my way, because there's plenty of stuff I want to get to. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about NXT 2.0. So NXT Black and Gold went out there, embarrassed themselves, lost to AEW, and just went down and just in flames. And so what do we got to do? Instead of trying to fix what was great about NXT in the beginning, Let's scrap it. Let's go back to the FCW model, the Deep South model, the Ohio Valley Wrestling model. We're gonna break it down.
Heartland Wrestling Association.
USWA.
We're gonna get rid of all the good workers.
Flescovanism.
We're gonna get rid of all the good workers. We're gonna bring in all these green guys, these green muscled up guys. We're gonna get rid of the black and gold. We're gonna throw this paint splatter rainbow.
Primary colors.
And then we're going to bring in all these gimmicks. We're going to bring in a poker player who can't play poker. We're going to bring in a Olympic gymnast who's a daddy's girl. We're going to bring in some hillbillies. We're going to bring in the son of Rick Steiner, but we're not going to call him a Steiner. We're going to call him Braun Breaker.
He'll be a Steiner in everything but name.
Yeah.
We're going to bring back Mandy Rose, and we're going to give her own faction called Toxic Attraction.
And push her like she's Hogan.
They're going to wear less and less clothes every week and draw older and older men instead of younger.
Yes.
They did all this fun. We're going to bring Wale. We're going to do a Wale rap song. So that's just going to skyrocket the ratings. They did all this stuff to change NXT and make it more of, what Vincent Pritchard's vision. And the ratings have not gone up. The demo has not gone up.
They've gone down.
Yes, they've gone worse than what Black and Gold was doing. And
Triple H, get the fuck out of here.
Yes, they took one of the best things going in North American wrestling before AEW showed up and absolutely ruined. It was already bad when they did the 2 hours on USA and we're trying to go head to head. But now it's even worse than that. You have these green wrestlers wrestling in ladder matches where they shouldn't be wrestling in. You have all these
tearing their ACLs.
You have people doing. You have these goofy, early new generation gimmicks out there. It's just,
but they're not people that have been wrestling for like 5-10 years. Them motherfuckers have been wrestling like 5-10 matches.
Exactly. You have Joey Tits out there.
Yes, Joey Tits. Tony D'Angelo. That man's real name is Joe Areola or some shit.
Oh my god.
So
they don't even know how to fucking parody The Godfather correctly.
Jesus. Like NXT 2, it's just a hot mess, and I don't get how anybody could watch that and enjoy it.
And these characters are they're one dimension. They're 1D. Like there's no you don't feel like you could run into any of these people.
There's no depth. Yeah.
You have Boa, who now has the powers of the Dragon Lady.
That's right.
It's like, what are they doing? And you have
who was the Dragon Lady to begin with?
They changed her gimmick even.
Right.
We never figured it out.
And then you have Wade Barrett on commentary doing jack off jokes, and it's just like
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They got their ring announcers dressing in regular clothes, trying to be hip.
Yeah.
You have Kushida, one of the best freaking junior heavyweights ever. Freaking doing this jacket time thing with Jiro, whatever his name is.
Ikeman Jiro formerly from
All Japan.
And
his gimmick, he loves to eat and shit.
It's not that he likes eating shit, it's that he likes to eat stuff that will make him shit. Yeah. That's more accurate.
Don't shame him for
it's shit.
That's his king. Don't fucking shame him for that.
Man, I watch NXT 2.0 and I see these people going up for it, which are largely the people that will lie about how good the main roster of WWE is and talking about how much they like it more than what NXT was. We know why you're saying that, because NXT used to blow the fucking doors off the main roster, on those big 4 pay-per-view weekends, and now y'all talking about y'all connect with it, because it's more relatable. Of course it's more relatable, because you watch that fucking trash on Monday Night Raw, and all they did was make this shit rainbow fucking raw.
Exactly.
Okay, so I remember seeing War Games, the last War Games. I remember seeing on Twitter.
That wasn't a real War Games.
I do not follow. Well, are they?
I'm just joking.
Okay, so I remember, just through the Twitter sphere, through the people that I follow and I interact with, because I talk to so much Tanya. I talk to Tanya so often, and she is, so much in being a Roman fan and a Sasha fan and a Bianca fan that like her interactions like put stuff on my timeline that otherwise I probably would not see. Mm-hmm. And that's no shade. Like I love Tanya. We love Tanya. So I see a woman that pops on my timeline, or I assume it's a woman, named her tag is like Big Titty Taryn. So
What?
I'm not gonna get into her name. Her name is her name. It's fine, whatever. But like, she has a lot of followers and whatever else. A lot of people like her, the stuff that she tweets out. So like, War Games was coming out. War Games is happening, and as was happening, like her response was something along the lines of like, I can't believe that people are shitting on this, given that like this is like the best like big NXT show like in years or whatever else, right? In years. Some of those lines, right? So then like, next thing you know, like Meltzer talks about, this anecdotal because Meltzer and that's only a couple hundred, only a few dozens of people talk about like the responses for people that actually watched the War Games, because it's not a takeover, something, big event for NXT. And then you throw in like the Twitter trends, the Google trends. And you're like, yo, it's not just anecdotal from Meltzer saying that he's not getting people responding to this shit. Like, it's far lower. And it's like, yo, I understand that like you think that like the pro wrestling is better because it fits more in line with what you like out of pro wrestling, apparently. But you're wrong. Like, and opinions can be wrong, opinions can also be right. Like, factually or whatever else, right? How you feel is how you feel. Like, there's plenty of shit that like I watch a bunch of matches, and I honestly feel like, every week, or not every week, but like a lot of weeks, like there'll be something that pops up on AEW, and I'll be like, I ain't feeling it the way that like it seems like the rest of the world is feeling to a certain extent, right? Like I'm pretty sure the people that listen that are huge AEW fans think like I fucking hate AEW. I'm pretty sure people feel that way that listen to our show at times, depending on what it is from week to week. So for me, like I see that and it's like, hey, either you're in line with what the consensus is or you're not, and like that doesn't really make a difference whether or not like your opinion is right or wrong. But it's like on this case, like people didn't care for this 2.0 shit, and like you see it over and over and over. And like they do that show. They have the follow up where it is the opener is O'Reilly in the cage in a send off match. Is Johnny Gargano in an overrun, like giving a goodbye speech, and like it had like one of the worst ratings like NXT's ever had in Black and Gold era, Rainbow era, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it's like, yo, this thing is not long for the Tuesday primetime spot. Like you're giving the price of whatever they're paying for NXT, paying like $30 million to $50 million a year for it, compared to what it would cost to just put a fucking Law and Order SVU on, or Criminal Intent, whatever they would put on, Chicago Fire, who gives a fuck, like whatever Dick Wolf pulls out of his ass, out of his drawers for someone on syndication. I'm sure it would do just as well. So it's like, this will not last long. Like, and that's what it is. Like, there are a lot of people there that I think are still very talented. There are a lot of people, but like, know that like when your contract comes up, this is a dead brand, and you can tell it's a dead brand the same way that we saw when something was dying in the 90s, where it's like you have the top talent and they're jumping ship left and right, or they're getting, or at least they're not necessarily jumping ship yet. We haven't seen what ship they've jumped to, but you've seen they've gotten off they've gotten off this particular fucking boat.
They've drafted themselves.
Adam Cole's gotten the fuck out of there. Johnny Gargano's gotten the fuck out of there. Kyle O'Reilly's gotten the fuck out of there. So so understand where these people stand in the pecking order of that brand promotion, whatever you want to call it, in NXT. They're all leaving. We don't know where they're going. We know where one of them is going. We don't know where all of them are going, but they have all chose, I'd rather be somewhere else than the fuck here. So, like, that lets you know where this is headed. That lets you know.
Yeah, I guess at this point I should.
How many obituaries? Here's another one. FOH.
Go ahead.
This mini one. How many obituaries do you have to write for NXT? I feel like I've had to kill them and talk about how they've died like 4 times in the last 18 months. I'm sorry, every 3 months in the last 18 months.
You know, with WWE, there's always been an alternative. Mm-hmm. In the 80s, it was Jim Crockett. In the 90s, it was WCW. And then it was ECW. Then in the 2000s, it was the Ring of Honor. And then TNA. And then later it was like Lucha Underground. There's always something that was really hot. And then in the mid-2000s, it was NXT. And NXT was the fucking hottest shit. And not only was it hot, but it was producing all the big top stars that were getting called up. And it was a big deal when they were getting called up, and they were making waves and they were becoming big stars. And then that shit kind of slowed down. And like, you know, for all you like WWE fanboys and people who really fucking loved NXT, I mean, the people that are still there that were called up that are big deals, you got your Big E's, you got your Balors, the Shield, Nakamura, I guess basically at this point just Roman Reigns. Nakamura.
And barely that.
Jerk Owens, the Horsewomen, Riddle, Ricochet, Zayn, Asuka. But after that, there's a whole lost generation of guys that got called up, got misused, got lost. And then after that, there's a bunch of guys that like didn't sign their like, you know, continuations, went to the Indies or went to fucking AEW and then got fired over the last 2 years. And now it's kind of like, who the fuck is going to get called up at any point in time? I don't know. It's probably going to be like
Von Wagner.
Yeah, Von Wagner.
Yeah,
who
Tony
the fuck
Angelo.
knows? Guys that have had less than 100 matches in their entire career.
And the training school fucking sucks.
Right.
That's
the main thing. That's the main thing about it is like NXT, even when during like the Horsewoman era, the network era, right? Like of 2000, let's say 2014 until Nakamura gets there, right? Like you had your Horsewomen, you had your you had people that were there, especially the women. You had people that were like, they might not have that much experience elsewhere around the world, but like they seem to have something going for them. And let's see what do the main roster. Baron Corbin's an example of someone that like
He's another one.
he is someone that like regardless of whatever we all think of him and how much of like him being him playing into his gimmick to fucking suck, like none of us have ever said in the ring that he's a stiff.
No.
Right?
Nah.
But when you have that lack of experience from wrestling, because you only wrestle one way, you've wrestled this way that like clearly has been behind in like the progression of professional wrestling in ring as a craft for literally like since forever, right? You see like the holes, and you compare it to like the proliferation of the online viewer experience for professional wrestling around the world, right? Like you can like if your choice is you can watch Baron Corbin go out here and have and be pretty athletic for his size, but kind of be this limited thing because people told him he's not supposed to do X, Y, Z in the third or whatever else, and not supposed to expand what he can do in the ring or learn how to do anything. And he comes out here and he's done it for 5 years now at this point or whatever longer. Or you could watch someone like a Drew McIntyre that was told the same things. He got fired, and then he had to figure out how the fuck to do these things elsewhere. And then he comes back and he's the best fucking wrestler. He's the best fucking heavyweight they have in the ring from bell to bell. Like you see the clear difference. It's like that's not necessarily like a knock on Baron Corbin. Like maybe in a different world, in a different perspective, maybe Baron Corbin could have ended up more like Drew McIntyre after he like had the drive to, after he gets fired or sent away to like learn some new things, whatever else. And like that's what it comes to experience. Like, and it's the same thing that we learned about like all those WCW guys that eventually like, you know, the cream rise to the top. We always talked about like in WWE in the early 2000s is like. There's no crop of guys like that now.
Well, I'll make it pretty simple. You know, there was a time where this sub-brand was super hot.
Yeah.
There was a lot of debate about whether it was a developmental or if they were just hiring the, you know, hottest indies that were out there and then, like, you know, promoting them. But that era's very far gone, you know? They've been able to take the guys that they were able to, you know, promote to Vince, and Vince was able to use, and those guys made it. And then there was several generations of guys and girls that they like put on the main roster, and they fucking failed because Vince didn't have the vision and know-how to turn them. And, you know, Tony Khan's a better like version of Triple H. He's been able to take people that Triple H didn't see much in and turn them into fucking superstars already and like turn a profit. And Vince can't do the same shit. And now we're at a point where like we've lost 2 or 3 generations of call-ups. And now who the fuck's going to get called up? We don't know.
Von Wagner again.
Braun Breaker.
It's going to be
Von Wagner, Braun Breaker.
Braun is like the thing with Braun is right.
But
you look at
besides just Braun, there's a whole generation of guys.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing where it's like, yeah, we all believe that Braun will make it, right?
Braun will make it.
The same way where it's like, we all saw Bianca and we all were like, she's going to make it, right? But what about, like, the Rhea Ripley?
Right.
Where it's like, she's just a hair behind because she's missing one little thing, but, like, Triple H can see it and Triple H can figure it out, but Vince ain't going to see it. Because Vince don't want to fuck her, but there's right? or in the case of it being a dude, that person's not like taller than Vince. That person's only 6'1" instead of 6'4".
Right.
So like
somebody should show Vince McMahon these pictures that Rhea Ripley's been posting lately.
Oh shit! But there was a time when there was
that might change his mind.
There was a time when there was
her hair's too
confusion.
short.
There was a confusion between whether NXT was developmental or whether it was a third brand. Well, it's very clearly just developmental now.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if it's even that anymore. It's kind of an experiment at this point.
They need to take that shit off, put that shit on Peacock.
Yep.
They ain't got to worry about taking it off. It will be taken off for them.
For them. And besides that point, like, it's not a hot brand. They don't have top stars. They've lost several generations. They've lost money. They lost to AEW. And, like, they've got a bunch of people running it that are not in line with the current Gen Z, like, trends and fashions and
like
fads.
when you got Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels and Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that if you have two guys like try to hit on Casey and Lacey as they try to get tickets to the state fair to go to some country concert, that will then attract the young guys because like apparently they're shocked to see that like women are dancing lewdly on each other. Apparently off screen of course because you can't sell it. It's still PG.
They don't know what Gen Zers like. They don't know what wrestling fans like. They don't know what the general, like, average human even likes.
Well, the show is written for an audience of one.
And think about it, right? You have a motherfucker.
I guess it's all
you have a motherfucker with a poker gimmick in 2021, not 2005.
No, not 2002.
In 2005, when like the World Series poker was actually like kind of hot, or really 2004. But you get my point. Like, if you're gonna miss, at least miss by a couple years. Don't miss by a whole fucking or almost most of a generation. What the fuck are you doing?
Tony D'Angelo, straight out the Sopranos. They got Cora Jade coming out here fucking
trying
up.
to be a skateboarder,
trying to skateboard, but fucking up riding the skateboard like on screen, like.
All right, you want to get into the Darby stuff or you're different podcast? No, different podcast. I just point out.
Darby was right.
Look, Darby. Not always. Look, this is what I'll say. Right, I'm not gonna get into the Darby thing. I just want to be funny. That's irresponsible.
This podcast has gotten off the rails.
But the Cora Jade thing is like, I think she has something in the way of they want her to be kind of like in like a Liv Morgan is on the main roster, where like the Avril Lavigne skater girl thing, but she actually is on a skateboard. But like, we don't know if she can or cannot skateboard. And like, That's a big thing for the ones that for the skate community is if you can skate, because like think about it, all of our lives the skateboarders of our generation, they were always talking about what motherfuckers posing, right?
Motherfuckers being real about it.
They care about that sort of thing, right? So like I don't care. Like you're never gonna get me on the X on the I said X man skates. Like, you're never gonna get me on that X. You're never gonna get me. What I meant to say was like you're never gonna get me on a quarter or half pipe, right? Like never. Like I'm not doing that. But like I do appreciate that culture, right? Like I'm wearing a pair of Vans as we speak, right? But like you're never gonna catch me like trying to. You're never gonna make me pretend to this skater thing is like something for a wrestler. Like, hey, look, I'm saying like the skater gimmicks like Lauren Knights, for example.
We are all veterans of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and 1. So like, I feel like we are in touch with the skate community.
And that one aspect only.
I bought the remastered version.
But my point is this, right?
That's true.
Cora has something. It seems like they want to do something with her, but they're not making her. You're not like. There's so many things where
they're having her win by like roll up and fluke and accident.
It seems like they only. It seems like they might have like anything that AEW 2.0 has going for it. It's like they have like
NXT 2.0.
NXT 2.0. I said AEW 2.0, didn't I?
Never gonna find me faking. No.
So my point is like anything that you have that they have going for it is like. Just at a surface level, and then like there's no depth to it, and it's like, can you trust it because how ridiculous the show is because it's clearly some new generation shit, and it's like obviously not. So it's like, hey man, like we'll see how this plays out. We know how it's gonna play out, but let's see how it plays out just to be fair, right?
Look, just so we can come back in 6 months and be like, well, I see it going on Peacock.
Right. Guys, let's just close this out. But what sucks is we were so fucking passionate about NXT, and it just is shit now. It's a rainbow fucking
R.I.P. Largo Loop.
Yeah, R.I.P. Lego Loop or Largo Loop.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, fuck.
Imagine going to one of those shows now.
We fucking loved NXT. We went to fucking live shows. We paid money to fucking watch them on live TV, and we can't fucking do like it. Just fucking sucks now. Fuck them.
I don't know. I think I went to every paper. Look, man, I went to.
This man had a fucking podcast about NXT 5 years now and then, and now it's gone.
Finished.
Thanks, appreciate that one.
And it was a good podcast. I liked it a lot.
I didn't even feel like. Why do I feel like he blew up my spot when I didn't do nothing wrong?
No, your podcast was good.
So, like, I just think the thing for me is like all those moments, like that time we had from like literally from the beginning of it being on the network to NXT Portland is just like, yo, like,
yeah, that
was awesome. That was awesome time, and like we all knew that like the shit could sustain, but like it was so good for so long. It was like, how can it not sustain? And it's like now we're like, well, that's what we get for having any kind of that's what we get for having any kind of like positivity for WWE at this point in the game, like. From the top down, eventually it was going to trickle down and fuck this up. Like it looked like trickle down economics. Well, it actually trickled down and fucked up WWE or NXT. So it's like, yep, here we go. Like, so they didn't like it because like they kept hearing about how the shows were better than the main roster, and Vince was worried about like succession plan, and he can't stand the fact that like it was going to be like his favorite child's husband that was going to be taking care of the shit. So like, get the fuck out of here and like. Look, man, I don't love Triple H. Triple H is the number one reason why I didn't watch pro wrestling for a full decade, and I still would rather have him booking professional wrestling that I would watch over Vince McMahon any day of the week. So like they unpowered him, and there are people that will still tell you that Triple H doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and then I'll be like, in comparison to fucking who? Because if you say it's Vince McMahon, I don't know what the fuck to tell you other than to insult your intelligence, and like I don't really want to bring that energy to you because like I just think I'm just done. I'm just done, and like this just broke me. Like I have no reason to watch WWE ever again.
We fucking love NXT so much, and it's fucking dead. That's
broke me.
it.
This broke me.
It's broken all of us.
NXT 2.0.
Hey, man, I saw that shit coming. Like,
fuck you, Rich.
I saw that shit coming. I started talking about that shit when like Lars Sullivan was getting title shots and shit. I was like, yo, man, what the fuck are they doing? And like, the one thing I wanted to bring up was yesterday was the anniversary of that. Hey, we're gonna give you what you want promo or whatever and all that. And no, 3.
Yeah, 3. You're right.
So 18, like
in 18.
The thing they did, like they thought the Elite were coming, right?
Yep.
And since the Elite didn't come, their answers were the call-ups of Otis, Lacey Evans, EC3, Tucker.
Fuck all night, Tucker Knight.
Fuck all night, Tucker Knight. Yes.
What's his name?
Tucker Knight.
Nikki Loon.
Yeah.
Oh, Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross. And it was like, all right, crazy girl. Then blonde Lacey Evans. Blonde, big titty white woman, of course. Yeah. Goofy gimmick act. It was like, hold on, you still don't know what the fuck we want.
Right.
Like, none of these acts, like, were stars, like, in NXT. That's why I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it was a scam.
So, NXT 2.0, you can get the fuck out of here.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, are you ready?
The Christmas countdown's on at JCPenney. Through Saturday, use your coupon and dash away with very merry savings on last-minute gifts across the store, like fine jewelry stocking stuffers up to 70% off after coupon, and save up to 50% on comfy, stylish outerwear for the whole fam. Add curbside pickup to make your trip extra quick. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 12/24. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
All right, Josh, you have the second pick in the second round.
I think I know what Josh gonna pick. I think.
What do you think I'm gonna pick?
I mean, I don't want to blow it.
I mean, he's asking for help.
You can say,
Yep. That man out there fishing. That's exactly what that was. Yep, fishing.
Go ahead and pick the one that said that hurt you.
I'm like 6 drinks deep, so there's a lot of options. Oh man, I don't know. Like, there's the fact that I could go with like Impact Wrestling is the best women's wrestling, but that's bullshit.
Fucking Christ. Yikes.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with like fucking I don't know.
Great content.
How about Edge's Legend Run?
You think you know me?
You think you know me?
Oh man, this is.
Okay.
I'm conflicted on this one. I really am.
No, I'm gonna draft it. Fuck it.
I'm conflicted on that one.
I'm really drunk, so I'm gonna just draft it because okay, let me make it very simple for you guys. I'll let you guys shoot on because here's the bottom line. I haven't watched WWE regularly since the WrestleMania in New Orleans, which was
34.
2018.
Yeah, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago. But I've watched almost everything Edge has done. And, like, let's be very clear. Edge wasn't a draw before he ever...
Popped one number when he attempted sex with Lita.
Okay, Edge popped
the titties popped the number.
Yes, Lita popped the number.
Edge and Lita popped the number one time ever.
Holy shit!
Was Edge an incredible tag team wrestler? Yes, he was.
Absolutely.
Was he an incredible mid-carder? Yes,
Absolutely.
he was.
Oh yeah.
Did he have incredible matches as a main eventer? Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
Hey,
was he ever on the level of John Cena? No, he fucking wasn't.
No.
Edge was a deathmatch wrestler, as much in the way Triple H was.
He was always the B-side.
Edge.
And a multi-person,
Edge was never a top draw. He never was. He needed either John Cena or fucking Mick Foley to make him. Other than that, nothing. And he came back years and years later, and which, you know what? It was awesome when he came back. Is he an incredible promo? Yes. Is he an incredible talent? Yes, he is.
Yep.
Is he a great wrestler? Yes, he is.
Yep.
But has he had great matches since he come back? Like 50% of the time.
I would say this. I think that the first match he had was like clearly the worst match.
It was so bad.
I think every match he's had since then has been a lot better.
Yes.
I think the one thing that bothers me about Edge is that
he's sensitive as fuck.
He's sensitive as fuck.
Yep.
He's so serious as fuck. And everything's the worst thing that ever happened to him.
Also, Beth Phoenix.
He's always cutting these community theater ass promos where he's sitting in the ring with a spotlight and sitting on a chair and looking like he's about to sweat through his shirt at the same time with his beard looking like a caveman.
If you don't think as an independent wrestler, I'm not going to do that shit, you're incorrect. I'm going to be doing that shit.
You ain't shit for that.
Like, bro, and then never forget that one week that Edge tanked the ratings on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown in that 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the one where he showed up and he shook hands backstage like he's supposed to be Undertaker shaking hands with John Cena, but is Edge shaking hands with fucking Damian Priest? Who gives a fuck?
Yes.
Okay,
let me be very clear. He's had 2 really great matches since he come back. One was against Seth Rollins, a guy who he shit the bed with twice, and then did a really great match in a Hell in a Cell in Saudi Arabia. Other than that, it kind of fucking sucked. And the other one was against Randy Orton in a match that was highly edited in post-match. Other than that, all his other matches, whether it was the Royal Rumble, which was a multi-man match,
holding on to the bottom row for dear life.
Right.
Sucking for air.
Or a bunch of other matches.
that WrestleMania match was kind of fucking awesome.
Which one?
The WrestleMania match, the triple threat with him and
Bryan and
Roman. That match was awesome.
So he had 3 good matches. He didn't have a lot of great matches. But here's the problem. It's not just that we're not willing to give him credit. We're willing to give him credit. It's that people have pretended like he's had this legendary Hall of Fame level run since he's come back.
Like he's post 2003 Shawn Michaels. Yeah,
and that's not the fucking shit that's happened. This guy has not had a money-making, legendary series of matches and runs that have revolutionized the fucking industry. This guy has not drawn shit. This guy has not made shit. This guy has literally done nothing.
The only people that have benefited from this run have been literally the Copeland family. And look, go get that money. Fuck Vince.
And Peacock, NBC, and Eddie and his wife are the only 2 people who've made anything off this shit.
Good for them.
Go get that money.
The
rest of y'all.
Fuck Vince.
I'm going to the bathroom. You guys can talk about it.
Yeah, man. As far as Edge goes, like I said, the one thing that bothers me, I think he's way too. I think he thinks he's a genius because I feel like people have told him he's a genius, but I don't feel he's a genius. And
but I mean, Dave Meltzer told you he was, or has told him that he's been a genius for like 15 years.
Christian's better than him.
I mean, if we want to start comparing,
this is the Caleb influence. This is the Caleb influence right now coming in.
Hey, so like when we start talking about who had a better comeback,
at least at the start for sure, it was definitely Christian.
I was never really a Christian guy, and then when I saw just Christian rolling out week to week, just being solid as fuck, just kind of playing his role,
and also
being kind of like this low stakes kind of guy.
Right. That's the main thing.
It wasn't like he was trying to do too much. Like, that's it was Edge, and Edge, they were like pretending he was this gigantic, world changing box office star, and it's like, bro, I hear the big pops, but like, where's the fucking numbers? Like, it's missing in action, like straight up.
Yeah, I'm of 2 minds with this, right? Like, there are parts where like I'm absolutely rocking with y'all as far as like him being too sensitive, and like I think I'm the person that brought it up, right? Him being too sensitive, because like people shat on his first match, right? And like most people that have watched wrestling over the last 20 years that have watched WWE, like there's an appreciation for Edge on some level, and like that match just was not hitting, and he came out here and like then like turned into like him as a guy that literally made his career as a person that jumps off shit, like talking about how like the guy shouldn't be doing certain things anymore, and like he's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, this is other guys like seizing the brass ring like you did. Are you gonna tell them not to? Because you know better now? Fuck you. They'll never have a chance to become you if they don't do that kind of stuff. So, for me, like, I understand that like your feelings were hurt because we didn't like your 15-minute fucking match with Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 36. Fine, whatever else. But like most people like the stuff you've done since then. Like that's the only like dark spot on your whole thing as far as the matches. So for me, it's like you gotta let that go. And like going forward after that, for me is like as you mentioned, like the Christian Edge thing, like I think they've both been great for what they've been asked to do. I think they've given but as you mentioned, Christian is so just get in the ring, low stakes, don't have to cut a million promos and build it up like it's the greatest thing of everdom or whatever else, and then you just go and wrestle, and then you have your match and move on, as opposed to like with how they deploy Edge, they make it as if like he's the second fucking coming of, I don't know, Bret Hart or some shit.
We gotta stop the fucking like the world of wrestling. Like Edge is here. Like so, nigga.
And like this would not be as bad if like we didn't get the summer of John Cena this last year. Right. Where it's like
that's who we stopped the presses for.
Right. Because John Cena comes in and business fucking booms for them. Right. And it's like not necessarily saying that like the work between both of them is like some big dynamic difference, but it's like the sheer amount of star power just inherently in the likability of John Cena compared to Edge is just a clear difference. So like once you treat them the same, then you're being disingenuous in one way or the other. Look, either you're saying that John Cena isn't as big as he really is, or you're saying that this Edge shit is cap.
Look, and then you can start comparing CM Punk coming, like, and that looks even worse for Edge.
Right.
And I think it just points back to just how the booking was. You look back at Edge's booking and like, yes, he should be a big legend right now. He should be a star that is pushing numbers and raising attendance, but he's not. You look at that, he was feuding with Cena, he's feuding with Triple H, Jeff Hardy. He should be a big guy, but you look at the booking and the way he had a lot of main events, he had a lot of title matches against Cena, but he lost a lot. They made him look like a geek. He was not pushed. Like Cena and Batista were the only ones that were really pushed during that era.
He won the 2010 Rumble and then lost to fucking Chris Jericho of all people at WrestleMania.
Right? Yeah, he lost.
Who the fuck was the Chris Jericho at WrestleMania?
And he was
everyone beats him.
Right?
Fandango beat him.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, right? Like Jericho's best win at WrestleMania is what, AJ Styles?
Maybe. Yeah.
And keep in mind, like that
like
is
older legend Jericho.
That is versus AJ Styles.
Edge in 2010
versus AJ Styles in his first WrestleMania. So we clearly have to break him in and treat him that he's not the hottest shit in the world. Yep. And then after
beat him.
And then after he gives you that year, you're like, oh god, we gotta oh god, he's our best scientific wrestler we've had since fucking Bret Hart. So yeah, like it's always this weird politic play with WWE. And like I understand that like if you are a huge WWE fan and apologist and like wonder why people get mad at them for the stuff they for stuff that like doesn't have to do with like the actual like results or whatever else, is like because they play these fucking games because they're like almost like trying to win this press conference stuff, and it's like we don't really care about that. You put on a show, the show's either good or bad based off of the segments and based off the matches and based off the promos. Like if you want to get into the rhetoric or whatever else that they want and they want to spin and want to ride with that, like if you want to, fine. I'm not doing that with y'all. I'm not doing that, y'all. So like for me, like when people talk about the Usos now these days or the New Day, like Xavier and Kofi, I'm like, yo. Those two teams have had some of the best tag team matches I've ever seen in my life. But I am not going to fucking pretend that they're better than Lucha Bros or better than Roddy and Fish or better. I'm sorry, or O'Reilly and Fish or better than Roddy and O'Reilly or better than
The Young Bucks.
Or the Lucha Bros or the Young Bucks. I'm just not going to do that. Or fuck it, Momo and Azumi. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. I'm not pretending for nobody.
Y'all gonna get this stardom, goddamn.
I'm not about to do that. Like, nah, man. Like, you throw it in there. It's like, hey, man.
Better than Bobby and Dennis.
Midnights.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. So I'm just not going to do that. And like, they're awesome. I like them for what they are, and like I do have appreciation for what they can do inside of WWE, given what's going on with WWE right now, from what I can tell. So like, there's appreciation of like, yo, you know how cold the Usos have to be to have done what they've done in their career when Vince McMahon is out of his fucking mind. Like those dudes are dope, but I'm not going to just like ignore like the output level, if you will, of other people around the world. I'm just not going to do that no more. Before I used to, I'm not doing it no more. I'm done.
And like,
I can appreciate them and say they're great while also like saying like, but they haven't been able to prove it as much because they're where they are.
And I think the Edge thing comes back to the WWE marketing as someone as a legend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just so heavy-handed. Where I think now, a lot of us are empowered to kind of push back on that, because it's like they're bringing back people where we saw the results kind of in a modern sense with Edge, where it was like, nah, he wasn't. Like,
he was never the guy.
Yeah,
never
like,
the guy. Never treated as well as Randy Orton. Never treated as well as Batista. Never treated as well as John Cena. Never treated as well as Brock Lesnar. Get the fuck out of here.
I was like, so you trying to put him over everyone? Like when I saw you win the Royal Rumble this year, I was like, literally, get the fuck out of here.
And I think this is going to be the blueprint for guys that are going to come back. Like, eventually when Seth Rollins comes back in like 10 years, they're going to put, the legend of the Shield, Seth Rollins. It's going to be the exact same thing.
Shit.
The legend Dolph Ziggler is back.
Oh my God.
It's going to be the same.
Now that's a bridge too far. You Seth Rollins, yes. Dolph Ziggler, nah.
Multiple time world champion Sheamus is back.
Okay.
Fella.
You guys are saying that, but it's like Jeremy's not wrong. Like, that's how it's going to be eventually. Like, none of this is based on actual drawing or actual like pay-per-view buys or any sort of metric that actually matters. It's just the fact that the brand was pushing a certain guy at a certain time, and he's part of the narrative, and he's in the good graces of the company, and that's what it is. He's right. One day, Seth Rollins is going to be in the accolades of Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, and Buddy Rogers.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that, like, I don't think they'll ever stoop to the line of saying Ziggler is that. That's all I'm saying.
No, they will.
Okay.
If he's the only one that can get.
Okay. Look, maybe
they'll show that cash in on fucking loop. Like, look at the arena going crazy.
Oh my God, Roman Reigns.
They'll be playing video of him turned around with the belt on his ass. Yes, all that. Dude, he was so revolutionary, so groundbreaking. God damn it!
What a great 3 months or 2 months it was.
There was Antonina Rocca, there was Buddy Rogers, there was Bruno, there was Hogan, and then there was Roman.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's definitely.
I might as well go ahead. I mean,
that's definitely gonna happen.
Edge, we might as well wrap Edge up.
Yeah,
So
Edge,
the Edge
Adam
legend
Copeland.
run. You can get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you.
Oh my God. Whoa, sir. Whoa.
We just saying like the way that they portray this man is fucked up. We're not saying fuck him.
Yeah.
What happened here?
What did Edge do?
I thought we were on there clear understanding. Like, what happened?
We like Edge. Shout out to Edge. The presentation is capped.
It's for entertainment purposes.
All right, I got another one. Since we talking about Cap, and I'm gonna save the good one that I'm looking at for James. Hopefully he picks it.
You talk about those fans that didn't like Bryan Danielson switching companies?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna talk about one of his chief rivals. Roman Reigns moving the needle.
Oh, shit.
This gotten to motherfucker. So, they have pushed Roman Reigns hard as anybody they've had not named Hulk Hogan from the moment he became, a main eventer or whatever.
That is 1,000% true.
I'm thinking about it. That's true. Well,
they pushed
Brock, maybe?
Nope. They pushed Bruno, Hogan and Roman on the same level.
They definitely pushed him more than like Austin or Rock. Definitely pushed him more than Brett or Shawn. Definitely pushed him more than definitely pushed him more than Cena. But would y'all say
what was the WrestleMania in New Orleans? 34.
34, yeah.
If you erase that from history, yes, he's one of the most pushed combiners.
Even that was in service of him, because when the match was over, who were they focusing on? Roman Reigns.
Because they knew they were going to SummerSlam, they were going to scam. But
bingo.
The thing for me is like I would say like once you do the I would say. I would throw Brock out there. I just personally think that Brock is someone that they've carried favor for more than they care more about Brock than they do Roman. Even though like you see what they do week in week out, but like it always comes back to Brock. But like so for me it's like I would say that I'm fucking with your statement. Go ahead. I'll get out the way. Go ahead.
Roman Reigns, they him and CM Punk obviously have something going on with them.
Well, we know what that is.
And CM Punk has been kind of hesitant to speak on it, like of late. He's kind of left it to Roman to do.
Well, okay, so I think this all stems from that Coca Cabana podcast where, like, whether Punk intended to or not, helped lead to Roman's job being harder when it came to, by the time a couple months later we get to that 2015 Royal Rumble. Like, granted, he was still going to be saying suffering succotash. He was still going to glare from the Rumble, right? But once you put that out there that, like, the thing that they were kind of doing on the tuck is now, like, a wide open secret, it makes it then for people that, like, say, no, I don't want that because Vince doesn't know how to book, even though we know he doesn't know how to book, but, like, you're also making this job harder. So then they have to call him The Rock, and then The Rock gets fucking booed, right? So, If you're someone like Roman, you're always going to have a resentment for CM Punk in the same way that like we look at like Scott Steiner like not liking Ric Flair or Bret Hart not liking Hogan, right? Or a lot of people not like Hogan. Not like
that's
Hogan.
Everybody.
So yeah, right. So like from that perspective of like I had a job, you made my job harder. Like I look at the history of all those people, right? That like hate that in the history of wrestling, like we just love for like the fact that they hate this other motherfucker to the end of time. We like kind of romanticize it. Like ain't nothing better than watching Bret Hart come out here and say fuck Hulk Hogan
like every 3 months,
right? Yeah. So for me, like when Roman comes out here and he throws something at CM Punk, whether or not like do I think that like do I think the Roman fans, the Roman super fans are like going overboard with it? Absolutely. But like, I still feel like if I'm Roman, if I was in the shoes, I'd be like, this motherfucker made my job harder. I don't have to like try to be political and nice and spin this in a way that's like it's just like everything's all good between both of us. Like, nah, man, you made my job harder, and you didn't have to do that because you had some shit going on with this man. You made my job harder. I was one of the boys like everybody else was one of the boys. What the fuck happened to me here? So I'd be mad. So now you can go to your point. I'm just saying, like for me, I just want to get my piece out there. So go ahead. Sorry.
So when he talks about like the moving the needle stuff, like all this has done is blow up in his face all year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's now coming out with merch and wearing it in Chicago and doing all that stuff. But like we're talking about him going head to head with the Bunny.
Yeah,
and the Bunny
and Matt Sydal
and CM Punk like doing more ratings than him, right? Like, and then you start looking at it like Roman Reigns' entire main event career has existed in the network era, so you've never really been able to quantify his real effect
as far as
anything,
like
right?
Being able to do pay-per-view buys,
right. So like.
UBS
Arena. We'll talk about that.
And then as that happens, you see CM Punk and you talk like he's not being able to move the needle, and it's like
he's selling out the United Center on a rumor.
A well-known out there rumor, and then also like his first match like doubled the pay-per-view buys for a company.
Correct.
And I don't mean like it's a small number. It goes from 100,000 to 200,000.
Which is crazy. And then the UBS Arena, Roman Reigns is getting added, and he's adding 300 tickets to the draw. Yeah. Shout out to Jussie Collins. Like, he wrote, like, this entire thing. And I think the Roman Reigns hype machine has gotten so empowered that he's turned heel the last year, and they've just made him this unstoppable monster where everyone feels like they just have to fall in line with it and be like, oh, this is so great just because it's better than what it was before.
That's true.
Or whatever. And it's like,
true.
I think it's a lot of posturing to keep him at this level that I don't know if he's necessarily at, but they treat him like, or the whole thing with the needle moving thing, like I said, it all blows up in his face every single time really badly. And it's almost like, well, what about this every time? And I don't think they really have any good answers for it. I don't think his fans have any good answers for it. So they'll just spin, the shit however. But it's real telling when Roman Reigns fell off the Hall of Fame ballot last year. And I don't know when he's going to come back.
Never.
But I think he'll come back, but
like after this year, he'll come back.
I think he's going to, they're putting it back in there with Brock now, and,
Great,
and that's not really like lighting the box office
because
on fire.
we all know how well that does for Roman Reigns whenever he's around fucking Brock Lesnar historically.
Ends up being busted the white meat,
right? So like, I think the whole movie and acting like he's this gigantic, enormous star, like WWE's put out these non-quantifiable like stats talking about, he's the highest selling merch for a heel ever. It's like, when did you start measuring this? Like where is this located? I can compare this to. They talk about, this is the most watched SummerSlam of all time and all those other shit. And
then his response was needle moving. It's like,
these are fake these are entertainment stats.
You mean to tell me this is more watched than Highway to Hell?
Right.
Austin and Undertaker?
Right.
Really? 98? Right. Okay, sure.
Nah, man. It's like these entertainment stats. And I think a lot of people are getting wrapped up in the kayfabe, running with that shit. And it's just like, it's becoming insufferable.
It's become, one of our is like, it's been tied up into like, as WWE has gotten harder and harder to detangle and figure out like who matters in levels that, can be, ways that can like get people more money on second contracts or new contracts, which is fucking intentional, by the way, because they don't want to pay nobody. Like, as it's all happening, like they keep coming up with all this jargon and stuff to like try to track how this stuff works, and it's like once it gets latched onto and thrown into the internet discourse, then it becomes like the rhetorical the rhetoric of the day, and it's like, if you're Roman, if you're someone that's like, you should be more over than he currently is. He's in a good spot right now, but like he should have been this over fucking 3 years ago.
We saw real needle moving this summer in WWE with John Cena.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And like there's no real reason why Roman Reigns never was able to get to those heights outside of Vince McMahon's incompetence, but like no one's ever gonna pull Vince McMahon to the carpet for that, especially when you're already making,
record profit.
You're already making $7 million. You're already making like 7 digits a year from the dude, so you're not going to call him to carpet for it. So it's like, okay, it's just a weird thing.
And what they've done is position him so far in front of everybody else.
Yep.
And they've done this throughout his career.
Yep.
Where it's like they've cut off anybody that had a chance to be a threat to him. They've done it to the point where there's no like successor you can look for in the future, that they've turned him heel. I've always maintained that the next big babyface star after to take it from Roman is Roman. Yep. And it's about to happen. And they're going to use Brock, to facilitate Roman turning back face to being the face that they always wanted. Right? There was never another option coming. And all these people have just been sacrificed to him. They've had to bow down like the West Side Connection in front of him, and it's just been they've
bend the knee.
They completely wasted Daniel Bryan. I refused to watch the matches at the end with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns because I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not watching y'all essentially execute Daniel Bryan's career in WWE. Fuck that. Fuck you. I'm not doing this.
Here's the funny thing about all of that. There will be people who turn around and be like, this was long-term booking. New Japan, long-term booking. They planned this all out.
It's funny.
All around.
I look at you, Rich, and like you made the same face. I was making the same face. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what? Go ahead, John. Sorry.
But there are people who are going to say that. Like, this was all part of the plan. You know?
It was not.
It is not.
It is not. Exactly.
5 years ago, Vince thought this was a really good idea when it came to, like, when he sat down with, you know, Phil Brooks. He said, you know, we got to make, you know, fucking, you know.
How drunk are you? My God.
Oh, I'm super drunk. But we got to make Roman look really strong because 5 years from now, he's going to be fucking jobbing out Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar and all this shit. And, you know, he's going to job out fucking Bryan Danielson and send him to AEW. And
Edge.
And
double pin him. Double pin him.
Stack
double
him.
pin those guys.
Bro, that shit, like, when I watched that main event, I
And
saw
Cesaro.
what they did. I was like, well, what the fuck was the point of the three-way then? Like,
Right.
if you was just going to stack them both on each other and make them both look like hoes, like, they got to run.
Well, you know what the real reason was? Like, we'll put Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and hopefully he'll resign.
Yeah.
That's really what that was.
Little did they know, Daniel Bryan felt nothing about that.
Do you remember that?
No,
yeah.
no.
Do you remember that? The rhetoric of like, look, man, like
They're going to boo him.
no, they're going to boo him, and also like
No one wants him here.
Well, not that part, but the part was like,
Talking about Bryan.
His return or whatever, or sorry, where he's going to end up going is like after his contract is out, after like he lost those matches with Roman. It's like, hey, he's going to go take care of his family, go be a dad. Like, you can do that.
Got fucking worked.
Like, no, like, why do you convince yourself that like someone can't be a father while like wrestling once a week? Once a week.
Yeah, but you guys are missing the
Sorry,
point.
But everyone
Like,
should be loyal to WWE. There's no
2014.
other wrestling than WWE.
Yeah.
It was all long-term booking in 2014. People were like, you know, Vince was telling himself, years from now, when we do this whole triple main event in WrestleMania, this will all be part of the like, you know, plan to get Brock or Bryan to, you know, re-sign with the company. You know,
Like meanwhile,
that
like
would be part of it.
like, yeah, that's great. That you believe that? That's cool. Explain to me how this Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns thing in 2019 ties into what happened with them. I'm sorry, in 2021 ties into what happened with them in the summer of 2019 when they have a feud over someone trying to fucking kill Roman Reigns with by crushing him with a car, and then it turns into like, both of them are not on the SummerSlam. Explain to me. Like it was all. You mean to tell me all this hinged upon what's his name? I can't remember his name from the fucking Bludgeon Brothers. All this tied in. Yes. Braun Strowman. I'm sorry, Braun Strowman. Rowan. All this hinged upon Eric Rowan. Get the fuck out of here. He's not in the company no more.
Also, like, you know, the whole thing is like Braun Strowman's gonna be our next like super like major star, but then, you know, his contract's become too expensive, so we're gonna fucking cut him. So, you know, fuck him.
I'm shocked they didn't make him do another job to Roman before they got rid of him.
Well,
shocked.
You know, Rich, that would be like
that'd be funny as fuck.
That would be conventional, like, you know, booking, but we don't do that here at like WWE. It's month to month, so we'll just fucking see what like matters the most to the bottom line. At the end of the day, Cesaro didn't fucking matter.
Nope.
Bryan didn't fucking matter.
Great match, but nope.
Edge didn't fucking matter.
Hey,
like,
and this Tribal Chief shit has gone cold. All it is, or it was, at least until they broke up, Paul Heyman making all these funny faces. Roman Reigns, like, sitting backstage, like, looking pissed at one of his cousins, and, like, them being disappointed and fucking something up, and then he's like,
dude,
I'm about to fuck y'all up.
Roman's gonna make fucking mad faces. The two Usos are gonna fucking fail, like, you know, driving tests and, like, you know, all that shit. But, like, at the end of the day, they're still gonna just be lackeys to, like, Roman and, like, you know, Heyman's. It doesn't matter what his legacy is. All it's gonna matter is the fact that he serves Tribal Chief, but maybe he serves Brock Lesnar. We don't fucking know. And all these other guys, they're just a cast of characters. Just
all geeks.
they're just fucking geeks, and none of it fucking matters. And at the end of the day, it's long-term booking. No matter what you say, Roman's the fucking wrestler of the year. Fuck Kenny Omega. Fuck the fact that he's been the champion in 3 major companies on 2 continents and major companies. Roman's the top guy. Yeah. And
top guy of the business,
he's doing the best work of his fucking career, even though it's not changing the bottom line.
And that's another funny thing about all this shit, right? Like, the people that are loudest about how this shit is so great and all that were like, I'm like, well, how do you say this shit is so great now, right? When we were telling y'all the shit he was doing was whack before, and y'all was, championing and saying that shit was like on point then. Like, what changed?
He doesn't sell more tickets. He doesn't sell more pay-per-views. He doesn't change the ratings, but he's doing really good character work. He's basically Jay White.
Oh my God.
Wow. Fuck you, bro.
Explain that one.
Well, I don't need to explain it.
This man's drunk.
All I need to say is he doesn't change fucking business. That's all I need to say.
When you get beat by the bunny
in the ratings,
I don't want to hear shit about needle moving. I don't want to see no T-shirts. I don't want to see 5 stars on them because,
to me, the biggest L is the UBS arena.
Yeah, that UBS inexcusable.
Like, you have
New York.
You have both promotions,
buddy.
New York is your company's city. And you have AEW and WWE running head-to-head in the same building, selling tickets for the same week.
Antonina Rocca.
Rolling in their graves.
Pedro Morales.
AEW have no problems getting tickets. WWE, they have to do the 2 for... Buy 2, get 1 free.
Buy 4, get 1 free. Yes. Roman Reigns.
And then they put Roman on and numbers. They got 300 tickets.
300 tickets.
Like, this man is not the star that he thinks he is. He's not the star that the company thinks that he is. He can call himself a needle mover all he wants. It's a gimmick. It's on a shirt. It's a gimmick. He's not a needle mover.
Right. And I don't know if y'all touched on this, but like all of that stuff with Roman this year, as far as like how well he's done creatively, given that like it seems like he has more of a input on the things he can do, and he's more or less like he's more willing to put his foot down on things that comparatively speaking to when you're having to do the suffering succotash bullshit.
Suffering succotash.
So right, we're like, and the thing is like we're all kind of like I think we're all to a man here, all to a person here, like happier that he's more or less like because he realized he's a top star and he's taking advantage of the fact he's a top star. He can tell Vince no the same way that like when they were doing Randy Orton and Edge stuff, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, Vince. We're going to tell our story, and we're going to cut promos, and we're going to be really fun. And like, if the match it doesn't go the way it doesn't matter because like we said we had to say, and our bill was very fucking good, and like you couldn't have done this without us. So and it made it feel so different. And it's like a lot of the Roman stuff is like it feels like he is putting his imprint on what he wants to do with pro wrestling in a way that's like all these other guys aren't allowed to do, and like we appreciate like someone being able to like use that to say like I'm trying to make myself different from the bullshit that you do because the shit we all recognize shit you do is bullshit or whatever else, but like I'm your top guy so I can do that. And like I think we're all happy for him in that instance compared to like what he was doing like 4 years ago, and it's like he just listened to anything. He just listened to anything Vince tells him to fucking do, and this is fucking awful. They got him like this dude is like literally a fourth as over as he could be given like the raw tools he has. Like I think we all, me personally, like when I saw Roman when they broke him out in the singles, I was like, he is so much like starting out like when compared to Cena starting out, he is so fucking far ahead of that dude. And like if it don't work, it's because Vince fucked it up or that dude didn't like try hard. And like you see that this dude is as a technical wrestler has improved. Like there has been work for him to get like to where he is now, and it's just like, what could it? You're almost like, hey, could this have happened sooner? Could we have not, fucked him up at that 2015 Rumble? Could we have, avoided the CM Punk thing that came out. So it's like,
no.
so the thing for me, so the thing is like, from that perspective, I'm like, I feel bad for the dude, and I've always liked the dude, but I've always felt like that they pushed him a year before he was ready, and then by the time he was ready, people had already soured on him, and then like he's had to figure out all these ways to stay afloat while also already being recognized because of the way he looks. He's already at this certain level that like other guys just aren't, because like there aren't no other, you know, former defensive lineman ass motherfuckers with six packs that are walking around this bitch. Mm-hmm. So like for me, like I'm kind of happy that he's had this run while also understanding like it only means so much because like it's still Vince fucking up everything that he touches. Especially around it, because like, you mean to tell me y'all can't build no credible challenger for this dude? Like the point,
it's like he's so overpowered.
The point of professional wrestling is you build is you get heat so that you can have a payoff. And like, what the fuck is a payoff for this?
I mean, literally, a few days ago, I was talking to Rich and I said, "How could they fuck up Roman Reigns? How could they have literally fucked him up? Look at the guy."
Right.
Look at him. He's got nothing but star potential written all over him. Someone who's a competent, like, experienced booker would do nothing but draw money with him, but they've done nothing but fucking ruin their company with the guy.
It's like, I think they've used him in spite of people.
Yep.
That's to the detriment of other people.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even to the detriment of his own, like... He should be way bigger than he is.
Like I said.
Even after he got cancer and overcame it and came back.
And they still couldn't figure out how to make it work.
And they still couldn't figure out how to fucking use
the
him.
same way they couldn't figure out how to have Daniel Bryan come back after being retired for multiple years with brain issues or whatever else. They still couldn't figure out how to make that work. They had him out here turning heel 5 months later after he came back. They had Roman Reigns literally like he shows up WrestleMania season for WrestleMania 35, and then like 4 months later for SummerSlam, he's off the card 3 weeks into a feud for Daniel Bryan because they have to figure out whether or not they need to turn Daniel Bryan heel or if they need to turn Eric Rowan heel. It's like, yo, this is what is going on. Like, this should not be this fucking hard.
They were making Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns team up at a certain point. Like, it was all fucked up. But yeah,
speaking of that, R.I.P. Brody Lee, because that fucking awful show, one of the worst shows in WWE history since we've been covering WWE, right? On podcast form. That 2019 Hell in a Cell. You have the Becky and the Sasha Hell in a Cell match. You have the Roman and Bryan versus Luke Harper and Rowan match, and then after that is fucking disaster, and you end up getting to that Fiend and Seth Rollins match. Like, all this shit ends up tying together of like, this man is a fucking cancer on his own fucking company, and he does it because he doesn't want to get the fuck out of there. He doesn't realize what he's doing, and he's poisoning everybody, and that's where we are now. And like, we should have two thriving creative companies in major North American professional wrestling, but instead we have one, and the second one makes a shit ton more money than the other one, but they're so shock storytelling that like there won't be new generation fans. There just won't be. Like, they're all gonna die, and they're all gonna be 61, 50, whatever else in the median age of their viewing audience, and like, people will be talking, well, they're doing great with their reviews. They're like, yeah, old people watching that shit, bro. Like, I'm sorry, like your son's not gonna want to watch that bullshit, and they're just not.
Can you imagine what they would have done with this guy in Memphis or Tennessee or fucking Georgia or Florida?
What would Bill Watts have done with Roman Reigns?
Fuck that. We were just watching Starrcade 95 with that triangle match with Luger and Sting and Flair.
Oh my God.
You imagine if Ric Flair got a hold of fucking Roman Reigns in 2000 or any
95?
Yes, he'd be like,
bro, Carlos Colon would have a thriving business right now if he had fucking Roman Reigns.
Right, and it's like, yo, man, like, I can't believe that, like, we have this guy, we have all these other wrestlers that are awesome, like Seth Rollins, and, like, even Seth Rollins can't even enjoy because they fucked him up 5 away from Sunday, too.
He fucked himself up a lot, too.
Yes, and yes, but like
because of brainwashing by Vince.
Look, call it whatever you want to. Like, there are also people that like are also super talented. That, like, also like when they got fired, also felt that way because like Aleister Black was the same way. Where like he got fired and like he did not bury WWE, and it's like, hey man, like he enjoyed the time in the company. If you enjoy your time in the company, whatever else, fine. I would just say to y'all, don't carry this water when y'all know that like they got y'all going out there looking crazy, and then like after y'all get let go, the only person to be able to explain that shit is y'all, and y'all want to still carry water for it because like we gonna look at you like you don't know what you.
It ain't no reason for you to do this, bro.
It's like, hey man, they got you out here looking crazy. Just be like, hey man, it was what it was, and move on. Like you ain't gotta. I'm not saying y'all gotta bury anybody or whatever else. Just say like, hey,
leave the burying for us,
right? Like you ain't gotta speak on it. Just move on and then like do your thing. Like and you look at where Aleister Black is compared to where he was before, and it's like, hey man,
night and day.
Night and day.
Roman Reigns,
same talent
as the needle mover. You
get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, James, you got the last pick in the second round.
I am sorry. I have pulled up the Jon Moxley hardcover. You know what? I'm going to skip over
I was wondering why. I was like, why do you have that book?
We'll get to it in passing when we go through, when we go through the speed round. But I just want to. So what I will do is move on. I don't know what Rich exactly wanted me to talk about. I know what he wants to talk about.
Why are you rubbing your hands?
Because he knows. So
what the fuck?
Heating it up, you know.
So I think our first time all being together, plus with the rest of the Largo Loop, was the SummerSlam. Well, SummerSlam, like I'm talking like Bret Hart, like SummerSlam this year.
Mr. SummerSlam.
Right. The watch party for this year's SummerSlam. And a big part of that match was, or a big part of that show was Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair.
Oh, shit.
And the rematch of what they did at WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania main event with two black women, and it one of the best matches of the year in anywhere in the world.
Two black wrestlers, period.
That's true as well. So to go from that joyous moment to we're going to get a rematch of one of the best matches of the year anywhere in the world, and to find out that like we don't know, we haven't heard anything, and Sasha has been around, and they keep advertising her and false advertising her. We get to the show, Bianca comes out, and then as champion, she comes out with the belt. She comes out first, and then we get this stalling, and then we get her word that like Sasha will not be in attendance, and then Bianca's promo saying that like she's ducking me, but I'm gonna get to her again, and then they bring out Carmella, and Carmella's someone that Bianca has beaten like a Cherokee drum for most of 2021, and no one's feeling it. Carmella comes out to fucking silence, and then Becky Lynch's music hits, and the crowd goes wild. And this is like one of the best returns of recent years in pro wrestling, where it's like this is the last time this was a top star. This is one of the last few people that like left this business and felt like a top star, and a needle mover, in the words of Roman Reigns, leaving the business, and they come back and they squash in 26 seconds. They have a match where they shake hands, and Becky catches her with a move and a manhandle slam and pins Bianca Belair. And like it's like, yo, these things are real fragile. A lot more fragile people take than Vince McMahon cares to treat. And like, as someone that was around on the main roster for a full year and did a lot of nothing, for that person to then like come back to it after they, finished, I think, second in the Royal Rumble, their first Royal Rumble, to then win the Royal Rumble, then get, beat the, one of the top stars in the company at WrestleMania in this all-time classic match in the company's history, for them to then 4 months later just be like treated like nothing and thrown away and more or less like demoted to the B show after that, like it was really fucking disheartening. And it's like, y'all don't know, like just like we talked about the Roman Reigns, the Roman Reigns thing, it was like they don't know what they're doing. And Roman Reigns, as far as over as he is right now, people were happy that he's on top right now and is doing the best stuff he's ever done creatively, a lot of it. Like he's still so much less over than he should be, given like what someone of that kind of package historically has done in pro wrestling. And like I look at Bianca and like there's nothing that woman can't do in professional wrestling, and to see what they've done with her, quite frankly, since WrestleMania is like I'm offended. Like I look at women's wrestling all around the world, from the indies, from Shimmer and Shine to the lower levels of Joshi to Pro Wrestling Eve to the pinnacle of stardom. And like there is no woman with that height, that size, that strength, that speed, that just raw athleticism, given her level of experience, that like is that can do that kind of stuff. Like you can talk about Utami Hayashishita all you want to. If I put her in a WWE ring and told her how to wrestle the WWE style and wrestle in that way, she would struggle compared to what Bianca has done. And at this point, we're talking about a woman that is probably going to finish no worse than second in Women's MVP in the Observer Awards, right? For 2021 this year, Utami. That is a level of impressiveness that Bianca exudes. And like we saw her first televised match, that Kairi Sane match. Yeah. And like you can say all you want to about like the PC not being able to produce nobody. She's that kind of talent level where it's like they can't make nobody. She still figured this shit out. And you would figure that would be something they would want to push forward and be at the front the front facing parts of the company as the faces of the company, right? With like Sasha and Roman and Drew McIntyre or whatever else, and potentially whoever else they want to say, Seth Rollins, whatever, Becky Lynch. And it seems apparently for whatever reason that fucking mystifies me, that is absolutely not what they want. And I can't ever go back to watching them. I just can't. Like that broke me. Like I was watching that SummerSlam's watch party with all y'all, and now like I'm wearing a Bianca Belair shirt. Like that is like the ones like there are plenty of people that we all think like you can't fuck them up, and they still fuck them up. Like Bianca is the one where it's like you can't possibly fuck up something like that. And you watch along the way, it's like not only are they fucking them up, like apparently they don't even fucking care. Yeah, and it's like,
and
yo,
then they
like,
went on to book her like shit for like the next quarter of the year,
and that's
where she wasn't winning matches. She was like being in matches, not being involved in the finish, like DQ.
Well, people will still tell you she's getting pushed. She's a star because she had the WrestleMania match with Sasha, and it's like we said earlier, like
I know what it looks like when they don't want to let her beat anybody worth a damn. Watch Survivor Series.
Right.
Bianca, like we mentioned earlier, Bianca's one of those people where we looked at and it's like, there's no way they can miss on Bianca Belair. She's a can't miss person with a raw ability that she has and like the star, like the money making machine that WWE could do, like she should be a star like easily. And they've just dropped the ball over and over again. Like, yes, they had the great WrestleMania match, but like, what's she done since then? Like you mentioned, Rich, they're putting her in matches and where they don't really care about beating her. They'll beat her, or they'll put her in some kind of no finish or some kind of crazy fluke, or she'll beat somebody like Carmella on like a random SmackDown. She's picked up no momentum. She's not heavily pushed. Obviously, the bigger star Becky Lynch came in and steamrolled her. And they just don't do anything with her. And it's going to be another poor case of a Raw talent being mishandled. I was hoping that she loves wrestling and that when her contract's up, that she can go to a place like AEW, or if the boards are open, go to Stardom and get better and actually become a star. Because in WWE, it's not going to happen.
And the thing is, with Bianca, she's probably going to come back around the next time, like WrestleMania comes, and probably be back in the mix again, right?
Right.
But it won't be the same.
Right.
Like it'll be less. Like it'll less people be into it viscerally. It'll be like, yo, y'all fucking blew it with her. Like the star making opportunity and like the moment was SummerSlam when she got to run it with Sasha again, right? They took that from us and we'll never get that again, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the time, like I feel like when you fuck someone up at that particular time where they can launch to the next level,
right?
That next level don't exist no more.
Right. And the main thing about this is like the reason why this even made the list was, or the main reason why this made the list was because like the fact that like how WWE false advertised Sasha Banks the whole time,
disgusting.
And then like ultimately gave us Becky Lynch, but like Becky Lynch 26 seconds.
Yeah.
So like,
we gave you Becky Lynch.
So like ultimately like this whole thing like for where we took in this as far as like but like you could have had a superstar and you decided to not do that for reasons that remain unknown and quite frankly like not credible. Like it was a weird thing. And then like, so like for me, like the one is like, yeah, like that sucked that night in particular, that was it 20 something minutes of wasted time. That fucking sucked. But it's like, yo, you don't understand the long-term consequence of like your terrible decision making. And like most of this comes back, a lot of this we go back to when we talk about like the stuff this year that's made the FOH already. Is like these bookers seem to like not know what the fuck they potentially are setting the course for, like in a negative way. And it's like I don't understand how you don't, because like all I do is think of this kind of shit, how things can hit the fucking can crash or swerve off the road here. And like maybe it's because like you don't book you book and you think of like how things can go right and supposed to wrong, but it's like maybe you need somebody like in the assistant's chair to say like, hey, don't do that because that will fuck everything up.
Well, I think in 2021, people believed, based off the Royal Rumble,
that she's a star.
She was going to be a star, and not only her, but also Rhea Ripley. They were basically the John Cena and
Batista.
The Batista of 2021.
Yep.
You know, they were drawing allusions to 2005.
Yeah.
And that's proven to not really be the case at all. You know, it's like we're a year later, and what if, you know, Batista didn't beat Triple H in WrestleMania, and what if he didn't win the title, and what if he didn't have that, you know, monumentous reign, and what if he wasn't going against Undertaker the next year? That's kind of the deal you've got with Bianca Belair. That's kind of the deal you've got with Rhea Ripley. And, like, the bottom line is neither of them are on the same level as your Charlotte and your Sasha Banks and, you know, Becky Lynch, basically. And they've really faltered in turning the OVW / NXT level of class of next level stars into actual stars who can turn and generate money.
I think they're terrified to really get rid of or to move on from the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah,
but that's the part
who they also mishandled along the way.
And that's the part that makes it so frustrating. Is like you did this same thing to the Horsewomen with the Bellas, and now that like the Horsewomen are your Bellas, you don't understand like how much more over a Bailey would have been had she been the cuddly John Cena Barney-ish character as opposed to what she is now. Or what she has been, like as a money-making potential for a younger audience, like you screwed that up, and
they just decided they didn't want it.
Right, and it's like, hey, okay, fine, whatever. You screwed this up. She still made it regardless. But it's like now it's time for the next generation learn from the mistakes you just made, like literally over the last 5 years. And it's like their answer was. No, we're going to fuck up the same exact way, and it's like I don't want to watch television that's ran from a showrunner that like doesn't learn from the mistakes that they've made literally the season before. It's like that's dumb. Like this is an anthology series, and you keep fucking up the anthology.
There are entire websites and podcasts dedicated to detailing how this company has not handled any women or any generation correctly since Trish and Lita correctly, and they act like they want to bury AEW and Impact and Japan and Mexico and all these other like outside companies with dealing women rightly, but they don't want to deal with 2003 to 2021 of WWE correctly. Like it doesn't make fucking sense. This company hasn't dealt with their women or any like generation of like women's talent correctly in 17 years, like accurately. It doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah, man. I think
they've lost generations.
I think to bring it back to Bianca, that seeing that on that night with the false advertising was horrible.
Oh, that shit sounds.
That was just like they have no respect for the audience. They have no respect for the ticket buyers that flew in to see that show. There's 40,000 people there supposedly.
Could you imagine if you spent like real like hard-earned money?
I'd have walked out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was just. I know our homeboy Gats was in there in the building.
Yeah,
like that was their first like full crowd, like WrestleMania 37. Like that was a partial crowd audience. This was like their first big money show of 2021.
Where was that shit?
Vegas,
the new stadium.
So you had to pay for money, travel, time off,
right?
Board. Oh my god, we're talking like $800 minimum.
And they're in the Raider slash
Reliant Stadium. I think.
Yeah.
Plus time.
They'll be doing it next year. They'll be there next year, right?
Fuck.
Yeah. And like seeing that, feeling bad for those people that paid for that, and then seeing Bianca get squashed with Becky, and then Becky Lynch supposed to make it all better, and of course like Becky Lynch is not what she was because it feels like Austin in 2001, like is like nope, she doesn't. No one wants her to really be a heel. She's not. She's cutting these promos that are the height of unreality. It's just completely disconnected on what got her to fuck over to begin with. Yep. So they've not only blown Bianca Belair, but they blew Becky Lynch.
They betrayed a character that made Becky Lynch the biggest star in the industry. Yes.
They buried both at the same time.
And she's just another wrestler. I talk about it often, like, yo, you have a chance to break through, but then you become just another wrestling character. And that's what Becky Lynch is now. Bianca's stuck wrestling Doudrop and Tamina and whoever else they can, scrap together on the death machine that is Monday Night Raw.
As on a 3-hour show, instead of her like starting this, Jen Walters versus Wonder Woman feud with that we saw in NXT between her and Rhea,
nah,
we can't be having the good stuff. Like, we got to have them basically do fucking nothing. So we got to have Rhea out here, like, getting rolled up on by Zelina because she's distracted over Nikki Ash. It's like, yo, like, I don't understand. Like, what do y'all want to, like, do good wrestling and have, like, good shows and have
Clearly they don't.
No. Why are you asking that?
I understand this. I was rhetorical, but like it's so fucking infuriating. It's like, do you want to do good things? No. Okay. Well then, like I'll peace out. Then I'll just peace out.
Well, on that note, Bianca being squashed at SummerSlam and her booking
can get the fuck out of here.
So we still got 10 topics. Let's go through it rapid fire. James, do you want to take the first round?
Yes, I have the John Moxley book, Mox, with me right here, and I am going to a special chapter in this book called Las Vegas, March 13th, 2021, 2:22 p.m. I will give you the first paragraph, then I will move on. It says, if you read this by far, you're probably familiar with the infamous explosion or lack thereof, the finale that capped off AEW's Revolution pay-per-view. And if you're not, I'll catch you up real quick, though I can't imagine there's anybody on the planet that didn't hear about it. I'm sure President Biden was briefed by his advisors the first thing in the morning. No doubt there were villages in rural East Africa sitting through the campfire, laughing at it till astronauts on the International Space Station probably shared some freeze-dried ice cream as they lamented the news from Earth. Yeah, man, like he, in entertaining fashion for multiple pages, like talks about like what he wanted to do, what his plans were for the barbed wire exploding death match with Kenny Omega. In the chapter before, and it came out, these chapters are like 2 or 3 pages, 5 pages at most of these chapters, right? And it goes through it and it talks about like literally like the plan and then like how it didn't go off and then like how he's freaking out and how he's like, with him and Kingston are like, what the fuck do we do? We're in the ring. We don't know what the fuck to do now. Do we play dead? Do we act like it happened? Like did the bomb, like I expect the bomb to have a bunch of dust and we blow to smithereens and it'll look awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna be paid or not. And then he's like, I don't feel nothing. And he's like, he look around and he talks to us and like, yo, I think this shit sucked. I think we're in trouble here. And then like they're like, yo, are we in trouble here? And then Lamas is like,
yes.
Nah, you guys he's like, yeah, we're definitely in trouble because I heard the crowd boo. We're definitely in trouble here. and then from there, like, he's just like trying to figure out like, should I lay here? What should I do? I don't know. What am I? You know, because I was supposed to cover from the explosion, but the explosion didn't go fucking off. Apparently, what am I supposed to do here? And then like Moxie's like, I don't know what to do. And then like apparently like one of the refs, I think it was Aubrey, tells Moxley from backstage that Tony wants Moxley to talk his way out of this. And he's like, you want me to talk out my way out of this? I ain't got shit to do with this. You ain't blow this shit up. What the fuck happened? And I have to explain why this shit didn't blow up. You explain it. You bring your ass out here and explain this shit. So, like, this whole entire thing is like, he basically explains like he had no thoughts on how to handle this or whatever else. And then you remember like what he said. It was like, well, apparently Kenny Omega's a hell of a wrestler, but you know he can't build a bomb for shit or whatever else. That's the best he come up with, right? And then that whole night, like after the show, because Tony does those press conferences or whatever else, or interviews or answers questions from media, wrestling media, and he was like, yeah, Kenny Omega, he just wanted to think that the bombs were rigged or whatever else. It was like, nigga, you gotta get the fuck out my face with this bullshit. Your fucking bomb didn't explode. You potentially hurt Eddie Kingston by him coming out there. He's supposed to save his friend. It's supposed to be his big face turn, and that got fucked up. And luckily, because it's Eddie Kingston and he's
nigga figured it out anyway.
It wasn't nearly half as effective as it should have been, but like he still was able to make it work for him because like people did like the idea of Kingston and Moxie together. So like, yeah, I got my friend back because I lost the title, but like I did gain a friend or whatever else. And like when we were beefing over the titles, because like he was almost like the like Lord of the Rings, like the ring that makes you go crazy. Mm-hmm. And like now that like that's not a picture, not on. Neither one of them have opportunity for the ring. Like they can kind of chill and kind of get back to the roots. And like Moxley having this this pull to want to try to save his friend, like he kind of has, I believe in you, even though you're a piece of shit right now. You think you're a piece of shit. You're not. You're a good dude at your soul. Like, yes, that did work out. But that shit absolutely did not go the way it was supposed to, because it was supposed to go out like gangbusters, and like it went well still, but like it was supposed to be a whole different level right now.
Ruined a great match.
Yes,
yeah.
That was one of the most disastrous botches in the history of professional wrestling. It did not leave someone injured or dead.
Yeah, like it was a point where I don't think AW will ever be able to, like, until they do it again and do it successfully.
Oh God. Do you want to do that?
I don't know.
I wouldn't try.
Because like I can't trust these niggas to make sure a fucking bomb can go off.
Yeah.
They said they were going to do it again, but I don't know if they ever should.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if I can trust if any bomb can go off. So it's like they left it to like when you leave it to pyrotechnics,
90s?
like the fucking pyrotechnics might not work. So like it was like you were depending on some shit that might happen. And I think they had to hold that. There was a lot of shit on Twitter that they'll never be able to escape from it, and I think it was just one of the real low points in AEW where I was like, wow, what if this promotion doesn't work? Like, this is going to be something that is pointed at.
They should just use Cody's promo or Cody's pyro for
Yeah.
Yes, and that was my joke. It was like, you mean to tell me that this motherfucker Cody has enough pyro in all his and all of his interests to blow up an unincorporated town, but you mean to tell me that like when it's time for your big blow off of like the best feud you've ever told to this point, you can't get this shit to fire off now? Nah, man, I can't. And then Tony Khan wants to come out here and be like, oh, it was all mind games. Here's a mind game. Fuck you. So for me, So I think the thing for me was it's like, yo, and it's gonna be funny, like going to like the Observer Wrestler of the Year rating awards going this year, like given like the kind of like ridiculous run that Danielson has been on since he showed up in September. Like, it could be very well that like Omega or Danielson ends up being 1 and 2 for like Wrestler of the Year for 2021. And like the literal deciding factor is whether or not a fucking pyrotechnics glitch happened or not.
That's true.
That's fucking absurd. That's ridiculous.
So the dud can get the
fuck out of here.
Rich.
I'll go ahead and I will draft.
Hurry,
man. I will draft WWE being the Black Metropolis for wrestlers, and people capping about this shit. Like, you heard a lot of fans throughout the year portray WWE as just like the place to be for black wrestlers, like in, kind of comparing it to AEW, right? And then you start seeing WWE fire black wrestlers like anybody else. Mm-hmm. You start seeing them with that North American title, the nigga championship.
God.
That they give to, the niggas, that they don't really want to put the, they don't really want to put the NXT title on you, so you get this belt. Ass Ricochet,
God.
ass Swerve, ass, Keith Lee, he happened to win it, but what they do, yank that bitch right the fuck off him.
Oh my God.
Like people capping, acting like Vince McMahon's Leon Ruff. People acting like I can't drop Vince McMahon saying nigga on the timeline every day if I wanted to. Like, but meanwhile,
my nigga.
Yes. Like, this is supposed to be the place for black wrestlers because they let Big E win the championship or something. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, stop this. Like, this is a company with
Brazil
35, like 50 years of people being racist in WWE. Stop this.
So Black Metropolis,
get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Saba Simba, suck my dick.
Like, and another part about it when you talk about like this is Black Metropolis, like they'll also like point out that like where the fuck is this, like when the fuck is like Naomi's ever going to get her run. Oh, I thought it was a Black Metropolis. I thought she was going to get her run because, like, clearly she's over enough at all these different points to validate that. Oh, she didn't? Maybe you should shut the fuck up, and maybe you should stop, like, centering all this stuff around discussion of black wrestlers around black men.
I guess.
And also, like looking for professional wrestling to solve your issues with race in America.
Yes.
Stop.
Stop. Look, you quit the clown Cody. You quit the clown Cody for trying to solve racism. Meanwhile, I ain't never seen WWE trying to solve racism.
Ever.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, fuck you, Boba Brazil.
What?
Fuck you, Coco Beware.
Oh, wow.
All right, Josh.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna draft. I had one. Oh, Peacock. Fuck Peacock, bro.
Oh God.
You know, I'm gonna make it very short and simple. There was a WWE network that we fucking loved because it was very easy to navigate. It was a great platform for us to literally if I was with my dogs and we wanted to watch Clash of the Champions 1. It was really easy, but now you got to go into Peacock and you got to find the season, the year, the episode.
Hope that shit plays.
And hope it fucking plays. And if you wanted to find something with Boba Brazil, okay, on the network.
Bro, the search function is mud.
On the network, you used to be able to literally put in Mad Dog Sawyer and you could find him. But now you can't. Literally, if you try to use the search function on Peacock and you put in The Rock, it's more likely to pull up I don't know,
the series The Rock, the sitcom.
Young Rock.
Yes, this black man is a trash man.
What's a movie that The Rock has been on?
Fast and Furious.
You're more likely
the longest yard.
You're more likely to find that shit. Oh, Tyron Woodley got starched tonight, by the way, guys.
Oh, yeah?
He got fucking knocked out by...
Well, that's what you expect. That man, took that fight on, a week notice or 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, he wasn't even fucking training.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Tyson Fury or...
Tyson Fury's
Tommy,
a relative or
Tommy
some shit
Fury's brother or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, some shit like that, yeah.
Anyways,
So, Peacock.
Listen, Peacock fucking sucks.
It does.
Okay, here's the long and short of it. This is a company that holds 95% of North America's history of pro wrestling when it comes to media. Mm-hmm. And it fucking sucks that we can't navigate it and that they've literally eliminated almost all of the searchability, the functionality.
Searchability? That ain't no word. That ain't no word. Searchability? What the fuck is that?
Says you.
I'm gonna use that word.
Searchability? What?
When you used to pull up a pay-per-view, you used to be able to find the actual timestamp so you could pull it up. That's all gone.
Yeah.
If you join a pay-per-view in progress, you can't start from the beginning. You gotta literally...
They started selling us this bad dope.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking the blue magic.
No. Before we had the blue magic.
No, you went from blue magic to red magic.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's true.
Fuck WWE.
So
Peacock. Fuck
Peacock.
NBC.
Fuck Nick Khan.
Fuck Nick
There's a
Khan.
staff breaking label and a crew.
Peacock.
If you down with Peacock, then fuck you too.
Peacock can
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just trying to watch the last Battle of Atlanta.
That's it.
The variant.
All right, real quick, I'm going to draft Wrestle Kingdom Night 3.
Trash.
New Japan versus
let's go.
Noah. I don't want to hear it. People talking about we shouldn't be disappointed. We're ungrateful. We're complaining. Bullshit. They came out here. They had a press conference. They had dudes cutting promos and angles on each other, setting up singles matches. We had reports of guys talking about singles matches that they wanted to do. They had this whole big press conference.
Nakajima.
They put this on pay-per-view. You can't even stream it.
$30.
Yeah, you can't even stream it live on New Japan World or Wrestling Universe. You have to pay your hard-earned money, the working man's money, to watch this damn pay-per-view. And it's a bunch of damn tag matches. You have
This is World Tag League Night 25.
Exactly. 25. You got Okada and Tanahashi against Muto and what's the other dude?
Kaito Kiyomiya.
Yeah, Kiyomiya.
Yeah.
And you have all these tag matches.
After Kiyomiya has been trying to push to get an Okada singles match for years.
Yeah, and Okada wants it too. And there's been so many guys that want singles matches. Oh, we got a show singles match against some guy.
You gonna get a Rainmaker, all right?
Yeah, we have a young Lion singles match, and then all these tag matches. You have the LIJ and Congo tag match, and then all these other tag matches.
And that's like the only one to actually like enjoy or be like happy for.
Motherfuckers trying to bring up shows from 2011 with New Japan and Noah and All Japan saying, "What did you guys expect?" You know, I expected Wrestle Kingdom, motherfucker. That's what I expected.
Because it's Wrestle Kingdom Night 3.
Right, and it's on pay-per-view.
It's in a stadium with a 17,000 capacity.
Look, either you're gonna be a global company or you're not. And take that shit off pay-per-view.
No, fuck that. Either you're gonna be a national company or you're not.
All right, and people were clearly they think, oh, it's not for us. Yeah. Well, there's been a heavy push of how to order it in the U.S. So clearly they do want it for us, and they dropped the ball big time here.
When people say that, right? When people say that, like,
why do they always pick the shit that like we don't like fuck with? Like, why don't they say, oh, some of that shit you like, oh, that wasn't for you, but you happen to like it anyway,
right?
Because wrestling is full of fucking politics, and this is Super Clash 3 in 1988 all over again.
Like, my thing was this, right? Like, if you want to go that route, I think, I don't know if I tweeted this or not. I don't know. In the conversations when I saw that thing late at like 6 a.m. and that like all these tag matches or what it was, I was just like, yo, so like if you were in the if you want to pretend that like this is still the 1980s and you have these politics of like you don't want any of your top wrestlers beaten by outsiders elsewhere, fine. If you want to go that route, then you need to go the Assemble / cyber fight route, right? Where it's like, if you want to do that, fine. Put one big fucking New Japan versus New Japan match on the card for the top title or between two top dudes, and then put another big Noah versus Noah match on the card or whatever else, and just basically initially off the rip. That's the first thing you say is like, we're going to do that, and we're going to have our match. We're also our big matches. We're going to put big singles matches on there, but like they're not going to be New Japan versus Noah. It's going to be Noah versus Noah, New Japan versus New Japan, and you're going to have the Congo versus LIJ match, and that's what you get as far as a big promotional thing, and then everything else, and then like it settles through after that, like just like what they did with Cyber Fight, right? Where it's like, hey, like we're going to do
a 5-on-5 match.
We're going to do that, right? But they want to fucking pretend like we'll also because they weren't gonna do intergender, like we'll put the Princess match on there between Miyu and Yuka or whatever else, right? Like, nah, they want to play around and be goofy and literally like it's not false advertising. But they weren't like not trying to false advertise.
Right, when they dropping graphics while all these dudes facing off with each other, thinking you might see something special.
Right. Like when once you have Shingo and Nakajima talk about each other, and then next thing you know, they're in a match, but like, oh, it's faction versus faction. Okay.
Like, is 8 other dudes in this match.
You have Kiyomiya, right. You have Kiyomiya talk about for a number, almost like 2 years, talking about like how he wants to match with Okada. Okada big leagues him, and then ultimately turns into the fucking Mega Aces versus Kiyomiya and Muto.
60-year-old Muto.
Listen, you guys are...
You're 37 in the biz. Like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I thought it was 2021, not 1981.
You guys are being way.
I'm sorry, Noah's not been around that long. But my point is like, this is. It's just so.
I woke up and saw that card and I was like, skip.
Well, you saw
instantly.
You saw when Murray put that shit in there. Like my whole thing was like, LOL, fuck this card.
Yes.
You guys need to be grateful because they're doing a cross-promotional charity promotional.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Charity where they expect motherfuckers to show up in a 17,000 seat arena, right?
And we need to be grateful because it's better than a WWE show at the end of the day.
Cool. How hard is that?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, imagine if WWE and AEW, the top two promotions in North America, did nothing but multi-man matches. That's basically what you're getting with New Japan versus Cyber Agent's top promotional.
You got motherfuckers.
Noah.
You have Kenta wrestling for the New Japan side or the Noah side, right?
Either get the win
or the loss
while wrestling in New Japan since 2019.
Correct. So, like, the funny thing is, that shit looks like when Austin or Kurt Angle was getting put on the WCW team to win or lose. So either A, they losing to one of their own guys, or B, they beating one of their own guys. Like,
without actually putting nobody over from their faction.
Correct.
Yeah.
New Japan's been the hottest product for decades, and then suddenly, within the last 2 years, Noah's kind of become the hot product.
No Togoism.
That's similar.
But have they become the hot product, or has New Japan just struggled because of Togoism?
It doesn't matter. Imagine if, like, WWF was the top product, and then suddenly 1996 WCW took over.
Gotcha.
And they did a cross-promotional show in 1998 between the two companies, but all we got was tag matches.
Right.
On the biggest... on a Starrcade show.
Right. But there's also
it makes no sense.
The other part that makes it even funnier is, like, what if, like, at the same time, WWF had an all-women's promotion that was hotter than WCW 96?
Allegedly.
Not allegedly, it is. Like, hey,
no,
man,
I'm just working.
Like, I'm just saying, like, my point is, like, you do this and, like, do a third night of this Noah versus New Japan thing to try to, like, get people to care, and then ultimately you do something that will never make anyone with a brain care, regardless of if they speak English or Japanese, and then, like, and then you have this other part that's this other promotion that's owned by Bushiroad as well, and it's like, all right, you put one match on the second night of New Japan. It's like, look, man, like, I'm not telling y'all what to do with y'all cards, because obviously, like, the idea that y'all gonna do 3 nights of this shit is, like, ridiculous. But the fact that you filled it out with something like no one would actually, like, that would have been interested in this, would have wanted it in this way, is like,
and
read the room. Read the room.
That should spoil some of your night 2 matches too.
Yeah. That's true.
The other thing too is, like, I see what you're saying. Like, you've got 2 really hot products, and you could literally do a third night just with those 2 products and, like, promote your own shit. But instead, you're deciding to, like, literally go with your big rival and do a cross-promotional show. But, like,
that won't lead. That, you know, by looking at that card, won't lead to anything in the future, because, like, clearly they don't want to extend themselves to beat anybody. They're only people that are going to beat are going to be the pin eaters on the other side of these factions, like, on these shows. It's just like really frustrating.
And here's the problem: New Japan has a long history of Wrestle Kingdom quote unquote shows being cross promotional between All Japan and Noah back in the early days, in like 04, 05, 06, 07, where they actually had singles matches between the top champions and even title matches and shit that mattered. And that, like, led to other shit. That video, that's all gone.
That video of Kojima, right? Kojima throwing the fucking belt, and then, like, Tanahashi and Nakamura, like, running up on that man. Like, won that one of those matches? Won that one of those shows?
That was different, but kind of similar.
Okay.
Ultimately, we've been super excited for this. This shit sucks.
So, Wrestle Kingdom Night 3, get the fuck
out of here.
So we still have a few things left, but I think our rapid fire has been a lot longer. Do we want to try and finish this, or we just want to kind of wrap things up here?
The Big E push sucks.
The Big E push sucks. It has sucked from day one. It made him do a babyface cash in on a dude with one leg, and then they immediately had him lose in a triple threat match the next week. He had him lose to Roman Reigns. Had him lose to Lashley again. Like, they clearly book him different from Roman Reigns, and it makes that WWE Championship look like the Super Intercontinental title. It's not a real main event
not a push at all.
It's not a real championship. Like, it's like some bullshit they're doing during football season, and they're going to yank that shit off him any day now.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And they waited too fucking long to ever put it on him.
Yep.
They waited like 6 years to do it. He doesn't win. They make him lose all the time. Fuck that shit.
New Day started in like 2014. They went in 6 years. Bro,
it's just hilarious. That's an entire generation. Like this nigga's closer to being 40 years old than 30, James.
Yeah. Hey, James, tell us about how Impact Wrestling has the best women's wrestling in the last 20 years.
All Japan Women's USA.
Yeah, man. Like, okay, so I don't know. Do you want to take this, or do you want me to? Or do you want to add on?
Tell us real quick.
I am here to support, and I got plenty because, like, you know, I see this shit on Twitter, right? And I know who's saying it.
All right,
I know who's saying it and capping.
Okay, so if you look through,
Have they ever had the best women's wrestling in the world ever?
Never. Not only have they never had the best women's wrestling or best women's wrestling divisions, you can make an argument up until like literally the last 4 months because of 2.0, they have never had the best women's division in American professional wrestling out before NXT came before NXT came around. Or after NXT came around, right? On the network. Like, you got the Horsewomen, you got the Asuka era, you got the Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane era, you got the Rhea, Shayna, and Bianca in Rhea era. Like, and then you have like the
EO.
You have the EO, you have the Candice, you have the Dakota stuff, and like it was always way better and had better matches than the Impact Knockouts division had with when it was Tessa around and with Jordan Grace or Deonna Purrazzo now, whatever else. And people are pretending like because they want to bash AEW's women's division, even though it has improved dramatically in this year compared to their first year or whatever else, especially their 2020 during the pandemic time. When they can get people in, like they have banged on that saying like it's so much better, and then they'll also say it's better than like the women's division in WWE. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like even though I have problems with Bayley and Sasha Banks fighting over how to finish somebody with one chair when there's 40 fucking chairs in Hell in a Cell, that's still a 4.25 star match. You name me the fucking Impact knockout match you saw was 4.25.
There are never, ever, ever any like matches that people point to. Like they have fucking Emma wrestling one of the fucking Iconics.
Right.
Stop this. Like y'all coming out here on Twitter doing the most. Like y'all want to do all this shit and boost up. Like, or completely ignore the WWE roster, right? Whether it's you're ignoring them because you don't want to
acknowledge the fact that
fight that battle, or you're just in the pocket for them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you want to try to artificially lift Impact when there's gonna be nothing on a match of the year list ever, right? And it's complete cap, and it's like the same group of people writing terrible fucking columns about women's wrestling and about like, you know, all these causes and shit. Like I saw some shit like I started retweeting on Twitter the other day where I was like, well, your whole column is bullshit because you didn't explain what your point was. So like, and you know,
they should learn from these places. What should they learn? Never mind that part. I didn't mention that part.
So it's a lot of the same posturing, and like stop looking for wrestling to solve your problems with the world at large. Like I hate to say it, that's not how it works. Like it's a business, and you get upset that AEW doesn't have more than one women's match, right? But like, I don't see these people like looking across the world. I don't see these people like, actually contributing,
dude.
Like in evaluating women's wrestling in a fair way, like not being afraid to call something trash. Like it's all just supposed to be good because we have to just all support women. That's what it is. Like
I want to know. I want to know what is from. I want to know what has been happening in these in the Knockouts division, right? That will fit on either one of these DVDs at the top of the card on either one of these big shows, whether it's All-Star Dream or the fucking Big Egg universe. I want to know. I want to know.
Like the problem is like people are afraid to like call something for what it is. If it's trash,
and it's not like
if it's good,
and it's not like it's bad. It is not bad. Absolutely, but it's just like it is. It peaks at very good, and that's it.
Like it's acceptable.
And then to pretend that like WWE has not through growing pains got to the point where they can put Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Bayley into these situations where they can go out there, Asuka, and go out in a situation where, like, if need be, at the time when the time is called for, go out there and have a great match, or whatever else. Like, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. You're fucking lying.
Here's the thing with Impact. Gail Kim and Awesome Kong had some very good matches.
2010?
Yeah,
05, 06.
05, 06.
Back in the day.
Right.
And people have been riding the wave of that reputation of Impact since then.
Rico's wife had that really good ladder
Jackie
match.
Gata.
Jackie Gata had a really fucking good ladder match. What year was that?
I don't even remember that match.
Over a decade ago, Jackie Gata had a really good ladder match.
All
and
this shit
since
is
then,
cap, bro.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of cap.
That I can
It's
get
the
out of
best.
here. The Rock at Survivor Series.
Wait, I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, last thing. And I'm going to just amalgamate three things into one. Guys that wrestle and girls that wrestle need to get fucking paid for what they do. And if they add any other value to your product, to your brand, to your organization, they need to get fucking paid. Whether it's Keith Lee's medical bills, whether it's up, down creators not getting paid, whether it's people like Chris Dickinson getting injured on a New Japan show and needing to fucking ask the fans to do a GoFundMe to pay for his medical bills. Fuck you if you're New Japan, WWF, or whoever the fuck you are and not paying these dudes. Just fucking pay them. You guys are making so much fucking money.
It ain't worth the bad press.
Yeah, it's not fucking
like,
worth
that shit
it.
with Dickinson is like, why the fuck does he have a GoFundMe?
Why
He got hurt,
does
like,
any-
in their ring, like,
Dude, if you're AEW, and I'm not saying that these people are all guilty of this, but period. If you're Ring of Honor, Impact, WWE, New Japan, whoever the fuck, if you are having a major league production, you're making multi-millions of dollars, and these people are getting injured on your shows, and they're a quote-unquote, 1099 worker, fucking pay them. Just fucking pay them, period. And if you can't fucking pay them, you can get the fuck out of here, period.
Yeah.
So last thing, The Rock at Survivor Series. WWE bending over backwards to put The Rock over and hype it up.
please acknowledge us.
Make it think that The Rock was going to come to Survivor Series, pretty much begging The Rock to show up at Survivor Series.
To sell tickets in the building.
This man sent a video message to Impact for Ken Shamrock. He sent a video to the Canadian Hall of Fame for Bret Hart. This man could not take the time to open up his phone to send a video to Vincent K. McMahon and WWE and Survivor Series. And what we got was the egg from his Netflix movie, and dude chasing the egg around. And
has anyone here seen that Netflix movie?
No.
I haven't, but I don't think that's much.
I did see it.
That's not much of a rom.
But
like
was it
watching
good?
is not some.
I mean, I like the Rock movies, but
Right. Which means, like, look, The Rock make movies. We ain't watching The Rock movies whether or not they good. We watching The Rock movies because they The Rock.
right. But regardless of whether the movie is good or not, it has nothing to do. The egg should not be a part of a storyline of WWE.
Austin Theory steals the egg, so therefore he gets a title shot.
Right. If you want to put part of the movie, put a
White man
commercial.
showing so much ambition.
Play a commercial for the movie during the pay-per-view. That's it. You don't need to bring the egg and make it a storyline in the show. And then to do all this for The Rock and then him not show up, it's like the people that were saying, oh, what if CM Punk doesn't show up for all that Chicago build? But this is...
But was silent.
Right.
Quiet as a church mouse.
Yeah.
When The Rock was like, would you expect The Rock to actually come? We didn't expect that. They never said that. Like,
Right. And the part of me is the funniest to me was like I had that conversation on Twitter with Tanya. Like, maybe the day before or like hours before the show, when it was like, she said like, people are gonna be really disappointed if Rock doesn't show up for the show. And I was like, because I had no idea what was going on, because I never know what's going on with WWE anymore. And like, except like the only time
they had like promoted him. They fed the stories to the dirt sheets for months.
Right.
Like they were selling this building on thinking that The Rock was gonna show up to do something.
Right. Like, and they keep promoting like it's 25th anniversary of The Rock's debut in Madison Square Garden in Survivor Series 1996. And it's like, once I realized what she meant, I was like, oh yeah, this was 25th anniversary. That would be cool if he showed up or whatever else. But like, I don't know if he's going to show up. And then she's like, well, they've been promoting like all this segments and stuff and of him showing up. I was like, yo, so like they could legitimately like not actually have him on the show, and like people will be not furious, but like disappointed when he's not on there. And it's like they should like be proactive about this and like get a video message from him and play it at the beginning of the show saying like, appreciate y'all, love y'all. It's my 25th anniversary, and I'm glad that that it happened, and what's happened with pro wrestling, what's happened with Hollywood, and my life, and it wouldn't, none of this would happen now for you. Thank you, fans. And now I'm cutting his promo for y'all to get an idea what the fuck would happen. But like that's what kind of thing you expected from him, given that like you mentioned the Shamrock thing and all the stuff he'll just do off the strength, and like. They showed all them video packages, all these great Rock moments of the last 25 years or whatever else, and then like at the end of it, like he just doesn't show up, and like they tease like with the egg or whatever else, like as if he was going to show up to go get his egg back, his Cleopatra egg back from Vince, even though it's like why the fuck would he? Why the fuck? And it's like, hey, whatever, that's fine, but it's like y'all knew what y'all were doing. Y'all played all these video packages hoping that people will be scammed and think that was tune in and stay in the same way that they had that Johnny Gargano overrun at NXT, where it's like just to hope that y'all will stay tuned to see what will happen if he shows up or what he has to say or whatever else. It's like it's the same thing.
Same company. It's
the same thing from the same company that also earlier in the year scammed y'all into thinking Sasha Banks was going to show up to fucking wrestle a match that they had advertised for months and be the biggest rematch in one of the biggest rematches in WWE history. So like, yeah, that's what this company has devolved into. They not only
scam system.
Are we learning that this company and also wrestling in general is full of carnies and whores?
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wait till y'all see the Hardy Boys reform.
Oh man,
ism.
Those aren't whores. Those are workers. They're fucking working.
Saw ism last night.
Ism.
Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for drafting. All that stuff can get the fuck out of here.
Do we got shit to be grateful for, real quick?
Yes, I am grateful for the Dragon Shingo Takagi going out here, breaking his neck to have some good ass matches and have something positive to talk about from New Japan.
I am grateful for Tony Khan for keeping wrestling alive. I'm grateful for those brave souls who didn't re-sign with WWE, like Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson and whoever the fuck else. And I'm grateful for you guys and everyone else who's willing to not lie about wrestling and, I'm
telling you,
have open,
why lie?
Fucking discourse and also just be my friends. And that's about it, And also grateful for fucking alcohol for getting us to this podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm grateful for the fucking elite. Like,
the elite.
The elite. Like,
check it out now.
Like, what Kenny Omega did with, like, fucking Vertigo. And a fucking busted shoulder and busted
everything.
Busted everything.
Bro, Kenny Omega 2021 is better than Ric Flair in 1991.
Like that shit is awe-inspiring. The Young Bucks, like, incredible tag team reign, drop the belts in style, like basically bend over backwards to help Hangman Page get off to his title run. Like the elite, like between Kenny and the Bucks, have read this business like a fucking book for the last like 5 years.
Yeah, man.
James?
So I'll get into specifics, but like I'm grateful for AEW. I am grateful for New Japan. I'm grateful for Stardom. I'm grateful for Drew McIntyre. I'm grateful for a person that, like, regardless of whatever his booking is or whatever they tell him to go out there and say to get him under, he will still show up on pay-per-view, and he will go out there with the intention of scoring 40 any given night, and it don't matter to get back up. Same thing for Cesaro, but that his Cesaro thing has been like his whole entire run since I ever first laid eyes on that dude, right? So I'm just grateful for Drew McIntyre in WWE. When we get to the AEW thing, I'm grateful for Kenny Omega. I am grateful for Bryan Danielson. I am grateful for Heyman Adam Page. I am grateful for the Young Bucks. I am grateful for Death Triangle. I like them dudes. I'm grateful for Darby Allin. That man, all of them dudes go out there and they bust their asses in anytime their number is called, and I greatly appreciate that. And they don't bullshit me. They don't play around. They go out there and they come out there and they give the best wrestling they think they can that doesn't involve nonsense. New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm grateful for Shingo Takagi. I'm grateful for Kazuchika Okada. I'm grateful for Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm grateful for Kota Ibushi. I'm grateful for Minoru Suzuki. I'm grateful for Tomo. Look. Don't get it wrong, you twisted with the Togoism shit that we've been talking about. Like, when it comes down to it, I still feel like they have more horses than anybody that want to go out there and have great matches when asked upon in any promotion period. But they're just in a weird position. Like, but I'll always bet on the talent. I always bet on the heart and the effort of the wrestlers. So yeah, I got that. Stardom. I could give you a half hour.
Rossi.
I am grateful for
the draws.
I am grateful for Shuri Kondo. I'm grateful for Utami Hayashida. I'm grateful for Mayu Iwatani. I'm grateful for Tam Nakano. I am grateful for this promotion that I believe, quite frankly, like, given the talent level, athleticism level, like, produces the best amount of top-level pro wrestling matches while having the least amount of athleticism and talent involved because they have sheer fucking heart and the want to just be the best wrestlers they can be night in, night out. Like, you can look at cage match ratings now that there are more people that actually watch Stardom from the Western world, and you can see that, like, if you want to talk about, like, the top peaking matches, maybe they don't have that. But if you want to say great matches, period, or very good kick-ass matches from like 7.5 on a cage match to above, they're as plentiful as anybody, and they go out there and they kill it every single night. Like, you can go into a Stardom show expecting to see like at least 2 to 3 very good fucking matches on every single show, and with not much bullshit involved. Is people cut their little minute promos and they go out there and they beat the shit out of each other, and it's always been fun. And like, I'm grateful for that. And I quite frankly do not know what my relationship with pro wrestling would not be if not for New Japan, AEW, and Stardom at this point in my life. Like, maybe I'd be fucking done watching wrestling altogether and just be disillusioned and say, I loved this thing as a kid. I stopped watching for 10 years. I came back and watched it. It was fun. And Vince fucked this all up and took everything I ever loved out of American Pro Wrestling. And I'm fucking everything done. So I'm appreciated to New Japan, AEW, and Stardom.
You know who else I'm appreciative of? Jeremy Donovan, the podfather of this podcast. Of this podcast network. Listen, every week we do a podcast together, and guess what happens at the end of it? I go to sleep. This man fucking edits the shit and puts it all together and continues to do hard work while I fucking slumber and get ready to go to sleep. And that is the God's honest truth. We are in his casa. We're in the Donovan Dojo right now. He's made it available to get me more drunk right now than I have been in the entire 365 days since the last time we did this podcast. So thank you, Jeremy Donovan, for hosting this shit. Thank you for hosting this podcast network. Thank you for all the shit you do, whatever the fuck it else is you do. And want to thank you guys for being my friends for however long you guys have been my friends for, like, I don't know. It's coming up on a decade, so it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the shout out, man. But yeah, this is going to wrap up our 5th annual FOH Draft.
Should we even keep doing this shit? Fuck this shit. Like, wrestling's getting so good.
It depends on how we draw.
How much it keep fucking up.
If we're needle movers, if y'all
we'll see.
If y'all drop the gifts, some donations.
Look, if y'all part with y'all yen,
don't buy the pay-per-view for Wrestle Kingdom 93. Drop that money here.
Yes, sir.
Listen, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to a member of this board. I don't want to say who specifically, but someone on this board was like, I don't have a shit to complain about. Let's call it the Come In Here Draft. Let's just talk about positive shit. And I was like, I'm not going to be part of anything that's called the Come In Here Draft.
The Come In Here Draft. What the fuck? Oh, man.
It was Rich.
I didn't say the Come In Here Draft.
Bro, yes, you fucking
When the fuck did I say that? You made that shit up right now. Like, I never even thought of that.
He told me you said that. He told like a week ago. He's like, yeah, let's talk about some coming here.
You said the Come In Here. Fucking.
I'm lost. Like. Yo.
Oh my god.
I'll pull it up.
You were saying something like yen earlier, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Let's
So
close it out.
shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to James. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to Josh.
Thank you guys for your donations. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting over the years. Thank you for everything you guys do.
Shout out to the rest of Social Suplex.
Yeah, make sure you guys support us, follow, listen, subscribe to the network, and support all the shows here. We all put in our work and try to entertain you guys the best we can. Hope
we ain't gonna fucking lie, like straight up.
You already did. You said you didn't say Come In Here.
I didn't.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
What is happening?
And we'll see you guys again next year.
Later, y'all.
Rich said Come In Here Draft. I swear to God.
Moms are amazing at tracking down hard-to-find items. Library books, socks, you name it. But sometimes help is welcomed. Care.com makes it easy to find babysitters near you. Sitters with the experience and skills your family needs, like after-school pickup and homework help. You just post a job for qualified sitters to apply. And since all Care.com caregivers are background checked, you can feel confident about interviewing and hiring. To get the child care help you need, sign up now at Care.com.
This holiday season, Peloton's got a gift for you. Get up to $400 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. Peloton, fitness that stays with you. This limited time offer ends December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 25th, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.